Great.
But T20 you can get away with that most of the
Oh,
time.
now that one's taken off. Beaten the shoulder of the bat. See, he's a fucking south hemisphere. He's got a bloody tash. Something going on down there, man.
I don't think it is a hemisphere thing.
It's nasty.
That really did take off, didn't it?
There
was a lot of life in this wicket for a fast bowler with a bit of height.
Well, I think we're back.
Bit of height is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with the YouTube, but it's back.
We are back.
It's a lovely looking stadium.
Right.
I mean, for a 3-month-old stadium. I mean, not a 3-month-old stadium, for a stadium which took 3 months to build, and in 3 months won't exist.
It's pretty impressive. Maybe it's the way forward, you know. Drop in pitches. We can put them anywhere. I mean, I guess
the stands remind me of the temporary stand at Old Trafford, going up way into the sky.
It's not a bad thing though. You get a pretty good view high up. That's flashed at, and it was wide and it was short. Ravana starts the next over. They kind of got what it deserved, which is an uppercut over the slips.
Finally a T20 shot.
And if you kids can't listen, then you bound to see the way you get shot for crossing a boundary, crossing a boundary.
And the bowler is.
What's his name? He's a high roller, rock and roller, scariest, deadliest, killing this bowler. He can sink your oats like the Spanish Armada. No one faster, no one harder. What's his name? What's his name?
That's chopped down behind square. It's fielded. I'll get through for a single though. Wide enough for the fielder. And Shannon can move on to 7 for none.
You know, talking about this being a sign for the future, it would be one good way of getting rid of all the doddering old schools in the Lord's Pavilion, if you were to do that.
Well, it just means you can have cricket in places that you wouldn't really expect. You know, you can put it somewhere basically if you can do this. You just need a few decent people who know how to tend grass. Australia's got a business there in exporting cricket wickets, isn't it? That is guided down to third man. There's no one. And the interesting proposition is for things, big things. You know, once every 4-year tournaments, not talking football, but things like the Olympics or the Commonwealth, rather than having to spend millions and billions on infrastructure, you set up a few, you know, I mean, it's what this has cost 30 million or something, isn't it? This entire stadium. I mean, it's quite an expensive.
Sorry, 30 million.
It is an interesting thought. It is an interesting thought. Yeah.
But you know, 30 million, that's a cost, but at least at the end of it, you don't have. Yeah, well, exactly, and you don't have any. You know, hulking. Oh, geez, how did that miss the stumps? That has gone through everything from Rabada. Kusal Mendes sort of poked at it, didn't move his feet. I wouldn't be surprised if that little nick that have a ultra edge, and there's a little nick as it goes on the stumps. So close to the bales, it nipped back off the seam. Completely did Kusal Mendes.
Went over the middle stump.
Somehow didn't take a bail. Score predictor has 160. It's a bit early for that. That one's into the pads. And it's played out to mid-wicket. So no run.
We've had our first super over of the World Cup too.
Yeah.
Between Oman and Namibia, which was actually really sad. We had 3 games and they've all been very interesting.
They have. I don't know really what the West Indies were playing at yesterday, really. They could have finished that so much earlier. The way they finished it in the end, I think that's probably going to be a wide, isn't it, down the leg side? Yeah, it's been given as a wide for the bowler's end, yeah. Short, it was down the arse. And it is one of these. It's a wide.
We've got lots of people joining us on Twitter today, I'm pleased to say.
Excellent.
Well, it's an American, the home of X. Ravada is in. Oh, edged out, surely. Yes, gone.
It's gone.
Driven at by Patham Nasanka. Thick outside edge. Oh, no, or was it? I'm sure that was edge. It certainly looked like it was edge to me.
Yes. Yeah, surely.
Surely. Why did they cut away so quickly
was-
there?
Because they've got ads to get in.
For fuck's sake.
um,
I'm pretty certain that was an edge. But
No,
I can't confirm.
Well,
'cause-
Cricket Info is showing it as a dot ball. So
Oh, okay.
well, Rabada
Apparently-
didn't appear. I just saw the replay. Rabada didn't even agree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Ah,
so-
It's
well,
not away from the bat.
must have gone
so
away.
John Batham's back on saying he's delighted to be back with us on Guerrilla Cricket this afternoon. Jay Grover says, "Afternoon all. I'm now officially old. I got phoned for my first Maury poll. I offered the lad a cup of tea and a ginger biscuit. Also, hooray Bear, hooray Bennett, hooray Messrs."
Thank you. We are back, and the first
and
ball
he's-
is a dot ball. Carry on.
Bear, literally yesterday you said South Africa looks weak. Varong's with us, says, greetings all. I hope everyone's well. The late match for me, 9:30 p.m. start, doesn't agree with work, nor do the earlier matches that hit off at 7:30 my time.
That's
Brown
full,
Barris says,
full and
"Good
wide.
morning,
Shh,
cricket
shh, shh, shh. Full and wide, driven up to mid off, no
Right.
run. Carry on.
Brian Barris says, G'day, good morning, cricket nerds. Did you know that today is the day cricket arrives in New York? That's what it said in the New York Times. Anyway, sod the nearly 2 centuries of Americans playing in different forms and levels. Yay, sports. And the ICC wanted to be in New York City so bad they conjured up a stadium out of thin air. And it's not even in New York City, it's on Long Island. A place that has periodically campaigned for secession from New York to become its own state.
Oh, now that.
Oh, well.
No, that's not how I get. What? I don't know what's going on here. That one
Right.
also seems to go. It's a wide down the leg side. Seems to go a long way. I thought he gloved that.
There's a lot of
No.
movement. isn't
There is
there?
an awful lot of movement.
It is moving all over the place. So he's got height, he's got movement.
Good to be a bowler for a change.
Yep.
Although
It makes it more exciting.
it does. I think it does as well. Means
It's normal cricket.
yeah,
Yes.
just fast scoring. Janssen is in again. That one's full wide, driven again, but straight to mid off again. No run. South Africa will be happy with his start. I think I need the one boundary so far. Kusel can be explosive. But yeah, I wonder how the New Yorkers take to this. I imagine it's mostly an expat crowd. It's got 18,000. is that
Indeed.
the
Well,
capacity?
Mayank is in the ground.
Mayank.
Oh, he is.
Mayank says morning all. I'm in the ground,
morning,
sitting at
Mayank.
about where long off would be for Jensen's end. It's hot, sunny, and the ground is surprisingly good for such a weird temporary situation.
Oof. Poked at by Kusel Mendes. Goes through the keeper and so on. Spread the word of Guerrilla Cricket while you're there.
Slow ball.
Is it an oval?
Take a
Slow
batter.
ball.
Next match, take a batter, Mike.
Put us on a loudspeaker. Even though we're probably about 2 minutes behind out there.
What's
but-
not allowed?
Yeah, it's hard listening to Guerrilla Cricket live at a match because you're so far behind the
Yeah,
call.
that's the thing.
Can't
Kusel
get the
Mendes
batsman to slow down.
facing up. Janssen is in. That's full and driven, nicely driven. The other thing is the outfields have not been particularly quick so far. And that one, again, will not go anywhere near the boundary. It'll be 2 runs. Got to run in this game rather than just hit it over the boundary.
Yeah,
They've
this
been
is a very
watering
lush
it all the way
outfield.
from Adelaide.
Yeah. Well, the
There
outfield
was
was
a
plugging
water
the other
boy.
day for the practice match too, so expect a lot of running to be needed in this.
I could visualize a water boy on the container ship.
Yeah. Brennan with a
Oh.
with a big watering can just running up and down the deck.
There's no rush, right? You don't need a sprinkler. I mean, what's the rush?
Exactly.
Just walk around.
Attempts to chop that down a third man as Kusel. He gets an under edge that goes through to Quinton de Kock, and there is no run. Ends the third over, 13 for none. Going along at Poultry just over 4, which is not great. It's a T20, goddammit. Over to you, Messi.
Mayank also sent us a photo of himself at the ground saying, also, I'm cheating. I've got my Sri Lanka shirt on now. Then I'm switching to my South Africa shirt when they bat. You'll either make lots of friends or lots of enemies that way, Mike.
Yeah.
Brian Barris says, also shout out to the voice of Bay Area Cricket at Hickey Cricket, who's doing the PA at the New York Stadium. The metallic nature of the stands reminds me of a NASCAR a bit. Well, a lot of the stands have come from Las Vegas, where they used the Grand Prix there.
Well, this is Bartman, the man who doesn't have a jingle, and he's hit that in the air, straight down third man's throat. That's Nasanka. He's gone for the big drive outside off stump, and he's not got there. He's got a big outside edge. I've won a bet, which is always a good thing. And we have our first wicket of the day. Nasanka has gone for 3 off 8, and they are 13 for 1.
The crowd says, the crowd says, the crowd says you're out.
Yeah, it's a bit of a slack shot. They've gone nowhere fast, haven't they? His feet didn't move at all. His foot was very...
Not centered a single delivery.
No.
Neither of them.
Maybe it was the wrong decision. It's a bat. It could be a little bowling wicket, and then you really want to put the pressure on. I guess if they can get some wickets themselves, but I think low scores always teams fancy, and it makes it a lot easier not having to go along at a great pace if things start to go wrong, you know.
I'm pleased to tell you that Farong is keeping a tally of our calls on LBWs. He says in the early match with Joe Wilson officiating, he was 1 upheld, 1 dismissed. He trails the Bear and Messages in the inaugural Joe Wilson Guerrilla Cricket DRS Trophy, both of them on 2 points.
Do I get
top 5?
But I want to know, do I get extra points for calling the one that they didn't even appeal as out?
Yeah, that's a good point. You get satisfaction for that one.
Yeah.
There was another one in the Namibia Oman game, which... oh, no, sorry, there wasn't. No, I'm completely wrong. Jay says, Aninda, hooray, I'm seeing me Chacha on Tuesday so he can reveal more of your financial crimes. Well, I'm not seeing him for that issue, but occasionally he grasses someone up when he's pissed.
I don't know what... You never know with
Jay saying that.
Oh.
I don't know who his Cha-Cha is, but next man in...
Cha-Cha is uncle.
Kamindu Mendes is the next man in, and he's got a jingle that goes like this. It's also very long.
If your boy ain't all he should be now.
He lets that one... Well, does he let that one pass? I think he played inside that through to the keeper, no run.
She'll show him how. Just give.
Huh? Say again?
Is there anyone in the 11 not called Mendes?
I think there's actually only 2. They just happen to be batting after each other. They've got very long names, the Indian teams. Sorry, not Indians. What am I on about? Sri Lanka. Bartman in onto the pads of Kamindu Mendes. 2 Mendeses out there, Kamindu and Kusal. It's down to third fine leg, and it's going to be a single.
But Sri Lanka has the distinction of having the player with the world's longest name in history.
Yeah, what's his name? Chaminda Vance, wasn't it?
Don't even start.
It was a ridiculous name. It had about 42 letters in it or something stupid like that. It was mad. Kusal facing up. Bartman in edge. No, it's gone off the seam. Christ, it goes a long way here, man.
It really does, man.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, me too. I think I'll go under the fall of the next wicket too then.
Wow. Yeah. He missed it by about 3 inches, it went so far.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's mad, isn't it?
I'm pleased to say that we got lots of people with us all over the place. So I'll just mention some names to start with.
That's a big in-swinger, that one. Just about fenced out by Kamindu. Goes out to point, and there is no run. This does not look easy to bat, I have to say. I'm sure the white ball will lose something pretty soon because it doesn't last very long, and it hopefully will even it out and give the Sri Lankans a bit of a chance. Carry on, Messi.
Leah with its Wamphia Ree says, can we ask why snipers are located around the ground, or am I noticing something I'm not meant to? I heard that mentioned the other day too. There definitely are snipers there.
Yeah, because there's a huge number of death threats out there in New York against a bunch of players across teams.
Bunch of who?
Riley Taylor's with us. Says hello. He's missed us. Chad Wright was looking to go to a few games on Long Island because it's pretty close to where I am, but the prices for some of the games are surprising.
Rabada
Chad Wright's with us.
is in and it's left alone outside the off stump. Go.
Mog says hi. Also, just concocted a Bartman jingle and sent it through. Fuck you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. I shall go and get it right now and then I'll play it straight away.
Leah and Mayank saying Twitter sucks these days. Doesn't load for me. I think 140 is good here. Yeah, I suspect 140 is about par on this wicket.
Yeah, it doesn't look no easy, gotta say.
So there's an ISIS threat out there.
That's well outside the off
which
stump
is
from
very
Rabada.
dangerous.
He's around the wicket, goes a long way, and it's flashed at by Kamindu. Doesn't get anything on it. No run. So,
The SWAT teams all over the place with snipers. There's an ISIS issue there. Threat. They have a specific threat in the India-Pakistan match of mass murder threat.
oh, for crying out loud! Really?
Jeez.
And you know what? America's fucking a mad place anyway, isn't it? That's a full bunger from Rabada. A paw is put on it by, who's that? Miller, who's at point. Stops it going past him, but they will get through for the single. They move on to 15 for 1. So we've got a Neil Bartman jingle, and it goes like this.
Everybody, if you can, do the bump man. Shake your body, turn it out if you can, man. Front to the back, to the side if you can. Everybody in the house, do the bump man.
There you go. I thought we had a jingle for the Bartman, because there's another jingle that goes along to the Bartman jingle. Maybe it's for someone else a long time ago, but we didn't. I searched and I couldn't find it. Rabada is in to Kusal Mendes, who comes down a track, gives it a big heave-ho, doesn't really connect, but he gets it out to mid-on, runs. Not very convincingly. It's a good throw at the stumps. Usually pretty good fielders, the Saffers. And they'll get through for a single. 16 for 1.
Mine tells us that no one in New York cares. Mostly expats here. Only thing about cricket is a little sign for parking outside the ground. Prices are shit, by the way. $40 parking and $200 for tickets. The ICC is milking us, poor sods. That is crazy.
That is crazy. You'd think if you want to try and open a market, maybe make it a little bit cheaper. Or is that just New York? That's a good
New
shot.
York.
That's a pick-up. Kamindu has got that.
Yep.
Oh, it's not. I think it's only going to be 4 though. Big boundaries. Yeah, it's only 4.
Yep.
Nice. I like that. But there was no one out there. It's not that. It's one of these.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's only the second. That's only the second boundary inning so far, and we're about to come. We got one more ball, and then we're having a switcheroo. But me and you and Indo are basically staying.
That would have been a 6 at Chennai.
Yeah,
And here it could be caught. That's
exactly.
What I like about this.
That's what I like about it as well. That'd easily be a 6 in the IPL. It'd be 10 rows back. Rabada, slower ball, guided. Well, a paw on it by slip going across. They will get through for a single. They move on to 21 for 1.
It's going to be a low-scoring match.
Yeah, it is going to be a low-scoring match.
I'll catch you a bit later. There's lots of activity on YouTube and on Twitter there, so that's going to keep you busy in the on the socials.
Where are you up to?
Nick, Normality's channel with Riley Taylor. I'm ready for the 100. Are you? Okay, that's the last one there. There's some stuff from Brian Barish. Josie Oak. Why build a stadium? It's empty. They're going to cover their costs and go from there. I'm sorry I've missed a few, but there's too many to read everything on.
That's okay. Leah sent in, obviously, Timinder Vass's full name, which I am not going to read out. Brian Barrett says this almost seems like a minor league cricket wicket. Possibly.
Lovely to do.
Right. Can I take over now, Bear?
You can indeed, Bennett.
Fantastic. Greetings, everyone. Wherever you are, it's Bennett, Olagosegram, and Anindya Datta, along with Bear, keeping you company for the next 5 overs. It's Bartman who's got the vital breakthrough, having had Patham Nisanka out earlier on. Is bowling his second over. Excellent first over just for the 1 run. It's Kamindu Mendes who drives towards the mid-off area, and the batters go through for a rather quick single and rotating the strike. 22 for 1. Sri Lanka have found it a bit hard, and India toil.
It sounded very hard indeed. I was just going to ask you what do you think is the issue here? None of them have got anything in the center of the bat. Not one, not even the fours that they take.
I think it's just just getting used to conditions. I believe they're struggling to suss the conditions here. The ball not perhaps coming on as it usually would. It'll be interesting to see how
it's
when the South
lot.
African bat is moving a lot, and the outfield is they're not getting their placements. When the Kusal Mendes drove a few nice looking shots but straight onto the fielders. The next ball is outside the off stump. Kusal Mendes 15 balls faced for 9 runs, just watches it as it goes through to the wicket keeper. So I think it's a question of the surface. But 22 for 1 in the 6th over. Bartman bowls. This one's again outside the off stump, and Kusal Mendes leaves it harmless as it goes through. Yeah, it's not a great sign, isn't it? But Sri Lanka have got some good batting to come. They've got some nice all-rounders. Angela Matthews, Tasun Shanaka. The skipper floats himself up and down the order. Hasranga. He's able to, and again, Anindya, don't forget, these are not pitches that international games have been played consistently, haven't they? So again, this one's good delivery. It's a good delivery on middle and off. On the front foot goes Kusal Mendes. It's a good shout indeed on India on the front foot, and the ball may have done a little bit not as much as the umpire would have expected, but the fielders are quite content to go with the decision as well. So no review taken and no damage done. Anindya, describe that ball for us, please. What do you think?
Well, I think it probably didn't move enough.
I don't know about that.
Bartman bowls, and this is like a get me out of jail shot, and Kusal Mendes hoiks this one. Rather ugly looking hoik over the extra cover. It just almost stops in the outfield, and the batters go through for a quick single. At the over number 6, Sri Lanka winning the toss 24 for 1. Kusal Mendes on 11. Kamindu Mendes also on 7 of 10. And if you notice that ball, it didn't really travel. It just flew in the air, dropped on the turf, and didn't really carry, didn't it, Bear?
Well, he got absolutely the bottom of his bat. I mean, that's the whole problem, right? As you were saying, that they're not able to gauge the movement at all, neither the speed nor the movement. I think it's going to be even tougher for them if these guys start holding slower deliveries. It's going to be very, very tough.
Yeah. Well, have you got
only
on
a few
socials?
slower deliveries.
Sorry, I'm in there. But have you got anything on socials? We've got a spinner coming on.
Yeah, well, Jay's just saying, not really an Indo. He just said to his chacha, I think this is, I think he did something with the Germans. But he's not a grass. Disinterested hand job, that's on my man Moggs. I'd like to think there'd be some death threats solely for some of the shit moustaches various Southern Hemisphere players are insulting our eyes with. I have to agree with that one. I have to say, the tash is doing my head in. Mayank says, not just New York City, I'll tell after this. Over to you.
Change of bowlers, Keshav Maharaj, interesting change there. The left armour coming off just after power play. This was a nice delivery outside the off stump. And coming the Mendes lets it go through to the wicket keeper. This one's gets it on the full, goes on a reverse sweep. Coming the Mendes, he beats the fielder there, but still on in there, still not going to the boundary. It's a very slow outfield, and lots of running there as the batters come back for 2. So interesting. That was quite played with a lot of power on in there, but it still didn't reach the boundary. What do you reckon?
Yeah, and he got it. He looked like he got it in the middle of the bat, so it really is slow.
Yeah, it's going to be hard going. I wonder whether winning the toss and batting may have been the best thing to do for Sri Lanka. Is this a decision that they will live to regret? What are your thoughts, viewers and listeners? Tell us what you think. And this one's driven past the ball again, not with much conviction. This goes towards the long on area, and the batters go through for a quick single. The 2 Mendes on strike, Kusal and Kamindu, both attacking players. Kamindu is broken into this side with some consistent performance. He's also bowls with both hands, his left arm spin and his right arm spinners. So he's a very, very unusual, unique sort of cricketer for Sri Lanka. Maharaj, experienced campaigner, bowls overpitched, nudged towards the short wicket area. Maharaja picks up on the follow through, and the batters steal a quick single right in the front of nose of Maharaj, and they settle for that. Tough going on India here. Tough going for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, it's 4 runs and over, 4.2. Not the start that they would have wanted.
As Maharaja comes in, this one, he gives himself room, a bit of innovation there, and cracks this one outside the towards the deep cover stroke extra cover area, and the batters go through for a single. They're not able to pierce the field, not able to get much timing, and on top of that, the outfield
is really slow, isn't it?
Very slow. So many factors here, and the toss was maybe a good toss to lose for South Africa. This one's shortish delivery. Kusal Mendes usually fluent, stylish and confident. This time, unfortunately, none of the above. He hikes this one towards the deep mid-wicket area, and the batters go through for a single. 30-for-1 at the end of over number 7. Bear.
Mike was just saying, so all the games in America are expensive. 10:30 starts for the T20s, clearly to appease morons in India who want to watch at 7:30 their time. He also has tickets for games in Dallas and Florida, also very expensive.
To be fair, okay, I'll take the morons in India on the chin, but to be fair, it's not to let people watch or be happy about it. It is to get the money in.
Yeah,
and that's where the money is, whether you fucking like it or not.
Yeah. Very true. It is true, but clearly, I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's like all the Australia games. All the Australia games are pretty much 1:30 starts here, because that appeases exactly that. I mean, you've got to play to.
New over. Sorry, guys, to sort of cut you off there. New over and a change of bowler is Henrik Nokia, bowling this one shortish outside the off stump, and the batters lets it go through to the wicketkeeper. Have we seen this kind of batting in the IPL or in any T20 where you let the ball go through, gentlemen, to the wicketkeeper?
Yeah, India will wish they had taken KL Rahul. It'd be perfect.
Yeah.
So Kusal Mendes looking to sort of break free here. This one short again. Oh, very ugly looking. So that's a replay from the previous one.
No, it's not. That was another delivery.
Not a replay.
Oh, it was the same delivery.
Almost the same delivery. Almost the same shot. And Kusal Mendes is looking to get himself into all kinds of trouble here. He's not able to get by. He's normally a player in India who likes to time his ball.
Oh, I love watching him bat. Today he's completely off. He's not able to get himself scored.
It's clearly...
And the problem is that could make him so frustrated that he just has to go anyway.
Yeah. And I think the writing on the wall here for Kusal Mendes, you could almost sense it as Henrik Nokia comes in. This one, he tries to give himself room outside the off to give himself room on the leg, and not getting anywhere near the pitch of the ball. Aaron Jones yesterday had a lovely little masterclass. Was they playing in a different planet altogether out in there?
Well, he was playing against Canadian bowling.
Yeah.
Bowling,
to be fair.
Yeah, but they were not bad, I thought. I watched a bit of highlights. Some good cricket, a little bit of, coming into Canada.
Well, they did play the first ever international match before England went off.
Yes.
Let's not forget that.
Indeed. They've got a bit of history there as well. So 3 good deliveries, no runs. And this one, so hits it hard and high. And it's very lucky he didn't get too much bat on that. It falls well and short of the fielder there. Not able to get his hands to it, and the batters go through for a single. So Sri Lanka living dangerously, 31 for 1. They've gone in with 2 baby Malingers, Nuwan and Matish Patirana, and along with the mystery spinner Matish Tikshana and the skipper, who's a handy leg spinner, and he's improved his batting as well. That's one in the Hasaranga as as Nokia bowls, and this one's hit hard and high and right into the deep square leg area, and it goes straight into the throat of the fielder there. Coming to Mendes, paying the price to try and get the run rate going. He's out, caught in the deep of the bowling of Henry Condia's first over with the score 131. Sri Lanka lose their second wicket.
On your bike, mate. Bye-bye.
Over to you, Bennett.
It's been a while since we've seen a match like this.
Yeah.
Is that again?
I said it's been a while since we've seen a T20 match like this.
It has been indeed, but then you never know how it will be for the South African batters if they're batting on the same turf.
They are, but the thing is, when the total's so small, you don't have to set it, you're chasing it, and if it's only like 100 or something like that, I can't imagine them screwing up too much. It doesn't look like it's not going to be easy to bat. It's not going to be easy to bat second, but a small total.
Yeah, and a bit of a surprise.
Even if they manage to score another 90 runs, 100 runs, it's still going to be 131 and stuff. You've got people like Clausen in there.
Yeah, but they're going to have to go through the same motions.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Hasaranga bowls. Sorry, Hasaranga is the new batter in. Sorry, it's Nokia who bowls, and this one's played into the covers. No chance of a run. Yeah, so Hasaranga has promoted himself up the order. Interesting change there.
He's doing the captain thing.
Yes, he has done it quite a bit during his tenure. Bear, what have you got at the end of that over?
Hold on, I'm going to give you a jingle for Hasaranga.
It all slides away, but don't look back, Hasaranga.
We have Brian Barris. It says it's amazing to me that New York, that hasn't seen a ton of rain in the last week or so, has a slow outfield, while Grand Prairie, which has drenching rain every day and at the same time played really fast. Well, it must have been watering it quite heavily, one thinks.
Yep, you did give the explanation. There was this little man with the watering can all the way from Adelaide to New York.
Maharaj bowls next over, and it's just played into the short mid-wicket area, and the batters go through for a quick single there. Hendricks was the fielder who took the catch earlier off coming to Mendes. So a little bit of a change in the batting order. Sadira Samaravikrama being held back along with Charith Asalanga. They've got batters to come who can do damage. Angela Matthews, Tasun Shanak, they're all capable, and this one's... And he's gone. Hasaranga, he comes down the track off his second ball without even having a look at the bowling and misses the ball completely, only to be stumped by Quinton de Kock, and Sri Lanka in all sorts of trouble with the score on 32. They lose their third wicket, and Maharaja strikes in his second over. Hasaranga the man out without troubling the scorers.
I won't look back. By the time that I do, you'll be gone.
That's really Mickey Mouse.
That honestly, I mean, I don't even know what to say.
What are you doing?
That was just such a moronic shot to play as a captain when you just promoted yourself.
Indeed.
Seriously.
I mean, and he's watched a good 6-7 overs, right, from where he was sitting. Surely he should understand that the batters were struggling for momentum, and
I mean, unless your ego is so big that you believe Kusal Mendes has forgotten how to bat.
Yes, that's a good point, because Al Mendes is struggling. He's one of the better timers at the ball in international cricket. So Sri Lanka now in all kinds of trouble. Sadira Samaravikrama, the steady middle order batter who's coming to bat. He keeps wickets in the test side. He's been a mainstay of the Sri Lankan side for a while. Sri Lanka going in with Matish Pathirana and Nuwan Tushara, the two baby Malingas who will be being seen in action later on. Matish Tikshana, the mystery bowler, is also there. This one's and he's bowled him. What a comedy here we're witnessing here. This one's a quicker delivery. Sadira Samaravikrama looks to give himself room and lets the ball slip through there. It was a straight delivery and he loses his stumps and Sadira is gone off the very first ball. A golden duck on India. Not a good sign here.
I didn't even get a chance to play.
I was just going to start saying good things about it.
Yeah.
He didn't give me the chance.
Instead, we're going to send him off with a jingle.
On your bike, mate.
Now he's on a hat trick.
Just a reminder, the GPL closes in 4 minutes, Bear.
Ah, GPL, of course. I forgot that. It's open.
How much did you put in
35 quid.
Messi?
I put in 8 picks so far.
I got England.
35 quid.
Ranging from what, 120 to 150?
243 is my lowest pick. Yeah.
Ooh, that could be in doubt.
So just coming back to the game, we've got Charith Asalanka, the dependable middle order bat and the vice captain of the team, who's coming to bat. Sri Lanka in all sorts of trouble. Have lost the front top order 4 batters. Kusal Mendes looking rather uncomfortable as well on the other side. 2 very ordinary dismissals, skipper, and then I think they were looking to try and play square of the wicket on India to try and maneuver the strike. This one so good delivery, nicely played, nudged away towards a short fine area, and the batters go through for they come back for 2. Yes, Aninde, go on.
No, I mean the first ball that you face, watching for the last 7 or 8 overs, people struggling, and you move away and leave your stumps open against Maharaj. I mean, you're just asking for it.
You're asking for
no
it.
matter
Yes.
how good a batsman he is, and he's a really good batter. He's pulled Sri Lanka out of so much trouble so many times.
Many times, yes, and this is a great, I mean, a first game for them in the World Cup, and surely with the side being in that, it takes a bit of maturity, isn't it? And this is pushed into the covers, and the batters go through for another single. Asalanka on 3. Kusal Mendes a painstaking 15 of 25. But Asalanka has done this before on India. He's done it before for Sri Lanka in the middle order many a times, and let's see what he can do today. Testing times for Sri Lanka short. And on the back foot goes Kusal Mendes. No timing whatsoever there. Again played into the deep mid wicket area. That's the area he's been targeting, and they go through for a quick single. Sri Lanka winning the toss, 36 for 4 at the end of over number 9, and Kasha Maharaja 2 for 11, Nokia and Bartman 1 wicket each. What have you got back?
Jay says he's as one-eyed a commie as you can get, but even I comprehend that selling to people who have money makes sense. Yeah, that's very true. Right, over on YouTube, the Normality channel with Riley Taylor says he tends to cover cricket games. The 100 is his biggest point of call yet. Bring us coverage one day a week when it's on. He is also he's doing that for this year's competition. And that's about it.
Beginning of a new over, and this is Nokia. He's teaming in. He's just bowled the first over for 1 run. This one's Kusal Mendes plays it back to the bowler. No chance of run. 16 off 27. Anindya, have you ever seen him play in this manner?
No. Definitely not.
What is going on? Is the wicket not really bad? Surely.
But to be fair, he's also been lucky to survive. I mean, it's not like he's been so circumstanced, which is why he's.
Nokia comes, and this one he skies it on the leg side. It was short, and he skies it towards.
Very lucky.
Where did the ball go? Towards mid wicket? Is it?
It's gone out to Cow. It's gone out towards Cow, but it's only landed about halfway. This isn't going to do the ICC any good, though, is it? Having a drop-in pitch that plays. I mean, yeah, I like bowlers being in it, but hey, and this is a bit of fun.
Indeed. So
but you have to be able to get. Well, we'll see. I guess how easy it is for Sri Lanka when they bat.
Nokia bowls this one. He's danced outside the crease towards the wide crease on the offside to get bat on ball there. Kusal Mendes, probably the most ugliest innings I've seen of Kusal Mendes, and I've watched quite a lot.
Yeah.
And this one's towards cow point, no chance of
He went so early outside the off stump that I think Nokia had enough time to bowl a slower delivery to him.
Exactly. But thing is, he's always the kind of player in India. If he's not really meddling the ball well, he'll get out. Like, he won't stick alone like the way he's doing now. But he had no choice, I guess.
It's not for lack of trying, man.
Exactly. He's trying everything he can. Because he knows his timing has deserted him. This one's played back to the bowler by Lanka, and no chance of a run. I wonder whether batting second, maybe if the wicket got dried a little bit. It's quite early on in the morning.
Well, it might get worse when it dries. It might get more tacky if it's. It's not horrendously hot, is it? It's only 25, 26 degrees.
And it's summer. I mean, I don't think New York's very humid at this point in time. So
Nokia bowls, and this one's glanced away towards the short fine area, and the batters go through for a single because nobody really knows. It's like this is probably my first game that I'm commentating in game in the US.
Yeah, same here. I mean, all the other games have been at 4:30 in the morning for me, so there's no way I'm going to be commentating.
Exactly. So this will be interesting to see, but I didn't see the Canadians or the Americans struggling as much as the Sri Lankans here. But they've got two other explosive batsmen in the pavilion. This one's short and is hit it hard and high.
That was a good catch.
And this is what he was waiting for. He was almost like he waited there for the ball to come down to the deep squalid area. And Kusal Mendes' painful knock comes to an end. 19 of 29. The end of the 10th over. Sri Lanka winning the toss in a disastrous position. Have lost 5 wickets. Pathum Nissanka for 3. Kusal Mendes just gone out for 19. Kamindu Mendes for 11. Vananda Hasranga, the skipper, for 0. Sadhu Samaravikrama for a golden duck. Charita Salanga not out 3. And Keshav Maharaj 2 for 11. Nokia 2 for 4. Bartman 1 for 3. And it's time for a change.
It is indeed.
See you guys in a couple of days.
I've got to let John in.
And see you, Bennett. We're on a drinks break at the moment, which gives us a chance to
catch up. I was pretty shit at socials that little session there.
Well, to be fair, it's been going pretty haywire at the moment. Mike says the ground's very difficult to play on. The pitch is clearly tough to bat on. The field is slow like molasses. No IPL type scores here. Pokey Bumfinger says, "Poor bastard. This is a bit harsh." And Dara Aziz is with us. Says it sounds like the ball isn't coming on. I can't remember the last boundary. Says Mike. Been about 5 overs for sure. Sri Lanka will need to look for 120 at best, I reckon. They're 4 down halfway in and going at under 4 and over. Even Baz ball is faster. Jay Grover on YouTube. Mike taking turncoat to its logical conclusion. Respect. Please don't try this in a Sheffield derby, as you say in England. And Sagir Parker's with us. Says, "Greetings all. Sri Lanka seem to be in disarray here." We didn't.
They do. All right, Sagir.
I can't say disarray without the Temesis. I'm sorry.
Indeed. Bennett, you're supposed to be still here, mate. But I don't know. I'll stay here. If you come back, you come back. If you're not.
Oh.
Well, that's on mine. Is my rotor wrong? I've got supposed to be.
No, you're right.
I think your rotor's right.
Yeah.
I think your rotor is right.
Oh well.
Never mind. We'll struggle through if Bennett can't hear us.
I'm sure we will.
If he comes back, he comes back. I was going to go and make some cheese on toast. That's all.
Afternoon, gents.
Hello, John. Welcome.
All right, John. How have you been, mate? Been a while.
Yeah, not too bad. It has been too long, chaps. Which is why I couldn't wait to try and put my 2 pennyworth into this little soiree. It would appear that a quick game's a good game.
It's a tough wicket to bat on. It's fair enough saying Canada and the USA didn't struggle as much, but maybe the quality of the bowling wasn't 90 miles an hour zipping around all over the place in that game.
It doesn't mean it's not going to be an exciting game. I mean, remember last night Oman and Namibia went to a super over on 109. So, don't have to have a lot of runs to make it exciting. Anything could happen.
That's true.
That first ball of the new over from Maharaj was just played out very quietly on the offside. And he comes again, and this is swept around on the leg side. Man coming in from, he's backward of square. I think that's Rabada, isn't it? Throwing it back in.
We ought to have a jingle for the new man. He's one of my favourite players.
Run into ball or he comes into bat. Angelo Matthews.
Well, I guess if you need a man for a crisis, you could do with one with 87 caps, couldn't you, really? In comes Maharaj and just played very quietly out on the offside. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen much of the first two games, guys, but for me it's quite nice to see a game where bowlers are not cannon fodder. In comes Maharaj and bowls again. And this is played away square on the offside. So the fielder coming in from the boundary, throws it back in, and it's just one more.
It's snuck up on you, John. There's been 3 games already.
Well, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It has definitely snuck up on me. I've had rather a lot of things going through my brain lately. But so much so I can't count anymore. But then some people would say I never could. Here's Maharaj again, and this is played out on the offside as well. And fielding. Oh, he come halfway down. It's thrown back in. And
I think he got back.
Oh my word! I think he's got back, but that would be just about all they need at 42 for 5, wouldn't it? To have a run out as well. It was Clarkson who threw it back in, and
he looked like he'd fumbled it at first, didn't he? And then it recovered really well.
Yeah, and it was smart work up the top as well. Let's just confirm that we think he got back. There's a decision pending.
I don't think he should have done, really.
Oh my word! I don't think he has.
No, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
The throw was too slow, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the dive has saved him. So it remains 42 for 5. That would have been all they needed to add a catastrophic run out to the list of
That's what I mean.
disaster.
That throw was really slow, wasn't it? Because he had a long way to go when the throw was released.
Yeah, it was a bit slow motion job, wasn't it? Well, here's Maharaj to Lanka once more. And I'm going to be generous and say it was guided wide of slip. I'm not sure it was. I don't think he had much control of the shot.
I mean, the one thing you do have to remember here is that the outfield is so slow, so these ones that you'd be thinking fours anywhere else aren't fours. So you've got to take that off what you expect for a total, etc., etc.
Mind you, when you've got people like Quinton de Kock and Henrik Klaassen, they might take the outfield out of the equation.
Well, you say that, but I mean, Kusal Mendes is a banger. There's some bangers in this Sri Lankan side, and they've struggled, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd say that Henrik Klaassen is better, yes, but if the pitch is doing stuff, a lot of these guys, these big hitters, don't really move their feet, do they? Let's be honest. It's all hand-eye coordination, and that can really get done when the ball's doing a bit off the surface and in the air.
I think we'd have to say that the South African bowling attack is a bit tasty.
Yeah.
And it has got a pitch which is helping it a bit, in the sense that one or two have climbed, one or two have kept low, slow outfield. So lots of things in their favour, and they've made the most of it. Here is Henrik Norkia. 2 for 4 in 2 overs. That tells you how much the bowlers have been on top here. Yeah, it's not been a good watch if you're Sri Lankan. I think you're behind your sofa somewhere, aren't you? Or maybe you've turned off and gone to bed. Hopefully not. Here's Norkia in again, and this is played off his pads. Out towards the mid-wicket area, comes round to his right to field, and they amble through for one more. 45 for 5 at the start of the 12th over. Sri Lanka comes into strike on 6. It's a second run for Matthews. Somebody's got to try and do something here, even with 5 down, because there won't be much good patting it back for 9 overs.
No.
So it's do or die, I think. Here's Norkia in again, and this is scooped up in the air, and it's out. Oh my goodness me, that's an awful shot.
Well,
I said somebody has to try and do something, but
well,
and I suppose he would say he was trying to do something, but it was a bit of a nothing shot, really.
well, it was. It's going to be one of these.
He didn't stop on him a bit.
No.
Either way,
I think it's
Nokia
that.
now
I think
three
it's
for
that.
four.
I think it's that thing where, in a lot of tournaments that goes for 6 and it looks really nice on the telly. It
I'm
doesn't
so sorry,
here.
gents. I'm so sorry I'm back. I didn't realize that I was on summary.
Yeah, you are. Excellent. I'm going to go
Do you
make.
want me to still be back, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I was going to go and make some cheese on toast and have some lunch.
Are you sure?
Don't
And I'm
keep
here-
Bear, don't keep Bear away from his food, Bennett. That's never
Exactly.
wise.
I'm here on my own. There's no one else to run the studio, so I would appreciate you being able to go and make
Home
some.
alone.
Yeah, I am
Home alone.
indeed.
John B, we haven't met before. I'm Bennett.
Hello,
Sorry,
Bennett.
I just sort of
Good to see you.
I'm going to be back in a bit.
I've got a message for you, John, actually, from Jay Grover. He says, Oman and Namibia were mint. Also, John, grow back your beard. You look like an art teacher, not an artist.
Everybody complained about my beard, and I got rid of it, and now they're complaining it's gone. Can't please some people. Here comes Nokia, and he's in, and this is played off the pads out on the leg side, and square leg retreats a few yards to retrieve it. And so Shanaka is off the mark with his first ball. 46 for 6. Over here, Bennett, we would say that Sri Lanka are in the soup, and it's pretty thick soup at that. Here comes Nokia again, off his long run, and this is played out to mid wicket, no run.
As much as my Sri Lankan heritage hurts when you say that, I couldn't not agree with you more or less.
Well,
It's really bad.
I think against South Africa, this is always likely to happen to somebody, and today it just happens to be you, I think.
Yeah, but the thing is, if these batters are finding it difficult, I'm suspecting South Africans are going to find the same.
Yeah, possibly, but you wonder whether, without scoreboard pressure, they won't worry too much. That one fizzed through to Quinton de Kock behind the stumps.
And also John Charith Aslanka has been their man for crisis many a times. He's the one who's just got out. These two are the recognised batters. I mean, Theekshana, Pathirana and Tushara, they're more known for their bowling. So I think next 3 to 4 overs, these guys have to stick on if Sri Lanka need to get respectable bowling.
Here is Nokia in again, and this is just played back along the pitch by Matthews. It's the end of another over, 46 for 6 after 12. Nokia 3 for 6 in 3 overs. Messi.
Nick Vickers says, I went to the ODI between South Africa and Sri Lanka at Trent Bridge in 1998. Sri Lanka's openers went in and went crazy, smacking it everywhere. They need some of that now. Says, I'm with John here. The bowlers need a little assistance from the pitch too. A very batting heavy game is no fun. Which Nick Vickers agrees much better with a good contest between bat and ball. That pitch looks more like it belongs at the Gabba or Supersport Park than it does in New York, says here. Puggy Bumfinger says, I miss the Catweasel beard stylings. So there you go. You got another request for a beard. And Leah says, yes, John, grow a moustache so you look like the dishevelled frontman of a hippie space rock band. That's a Dave Brock and Hawkwind joke. We don't need any more moustaches.
That was a single.
That
was a single played out on the leg side. We're playing. So that's another run, 47 for 6. I wasn't quite sure where you were reading those messages from, Messi, because they're not coming up on my screen. But
they're on YouTube messages, those ones.
Aha, okay. Perhaps my YouTube hasn't refreshed. Anyway, 47 for 6. With Matthews taking his guard again. In comes Maharaj. And Matthews just well, just prods forward, really, plays it out on the offside. I think what you said an over ago, Bennett, is right, that these two realise that they can't go mad because there's nothing behind them, so they've just got to try and play a few overs out and then have a swing. That's another dot ball. If Maharaj could get another wicket, it would be his best ever in T20 internationals, because he's never taken more than 2. And he comes again, and bowls, and he advances down the pitch, Matthews, and lofts this straight, and he's got enough on it, and it's gone all the way. For the first one of these in the game.
Yes, that's lovely to see, and that's experience for you, isn't it? He's been there for such a long time, and certainly a lot of responsibilities on these two shoulders now.
Yeah, it was a lovely shot that. He picked the length of it, got to the pitch, and didn't half hit it. He followed through with it and sailed over mid-off for 6. In Maharaj again, and this is just played out quietly to mid-wicket. No run.
John, just a thought. I mean, how often have we seen batters struggle in T20? We haven't, have we? They've had it so easy with broad bats, nice turf, where they can hit the ball, clog the ball around. It's good to see a bit of a struggle for the batters today, John.
No, absolutely. I absolutely agree. I said that when I first came on, that I'm not one who likes to see 6 after 6 after 6, because I've always said on here I like to see a contest between bat and ball, because if it's not a contest between bat and ball, it isn't sport for me. It might be a form of cricket, but it isn't sport.
Some very interesting data that Jared Kimber shared, which showed that the scoring rates in World Cups have always been much lower than they have been in any of the T20 leagues around the world. Because of the boundaries and the pitches, I suspect, but I think it makes it a much more enjoyable contest to watch. By the way, Jay Grover says, I'm not sure of many things, but I am sure that John's beard were proper mint. Also, John is mint. Whenever I can't get me Anthony Gibson injection
in the air, and it's dropped just short. It's dropped just short of the fielder coming in off the boundary.
Not sure what he was doing there, John. He was neither hitting it nor tapping it. He was almost lobbing it.
Yeah, he didn't really commit to that, did he? It was a bit of a sort of, let me help this on its way. And then he probably had his heart in his mouth thinking, oh, I've stuck it down Longleg's throat. Unfortunately, he hadn't hit it hard enough. It didn't carry. So it's 54 for 6 in the 14th. And in again. And this is played out on the leg side behind square. Fine leg kind of came round to long leg to throw it back in. Matthews has gone to 9 from 11 balls. Shanaka 3 from 4. Jansen none for 8 in his 3rd over. We've all got away with pretty tidy figures today. But yeah, I'd much rather see a game of cricket like this rather than a game of baseball. Otherwise, you might just as well have a bowling machine to bowl cannon fodder. In comes Jansen again. Bowls, and he's bringing it down from quite some height. And it's just played out respectfully on the leg side by Shanaka. 55 for 6. Yeah, I think Sri Lanka. I think whoever messaged earlier was right. Sri Lanka have got to try and get up somewhere around 120 and hope they can make a game of it.
At least 120, John. If not, it's going to be really hard.
That would mean 65 off 6.5. Here's Jansen, he's in, and this is hooked away, but it's gone more up than forward, I think. Oh, he has got enough on it. It's gone in the crowd.
Wow.
I didn't think he got enough on that when he swiveled on it. I thought it had gone straight up in the air, but
he is a very, very powerful hitter, John. He can really hit the long ball, Shanaka.
Well, I'm not sure he got all of that, so that would verify that point, Bennett, because I'm pretty sure that was more top edge than middle of the bat. Yeah, it was. It was pretty high on the bat too, and it's still sailed away for 6.
That's 83 metres.
Wow.
Beautiful that's a
shot.
decent
That'll
hit.
do him.
I think it was the middle of the back. It was high up, but I don't think it was an edge.
Yeah, this is what he's renowned for. This is why he's in the team. Yeah, he's did many a times for Sri Lanka, brought them out of the woods.
Well, they could do with 5 or 6 more of those, but that one's just played out on the offside. Behind square, straight to the fielder.
He did time it this time around, but unfortunately found the fielder straight, didn't he?
Yes. Yes, indeed. There's probably more timing in that shot than the previous one, and that previous one went for 6, which tells you what you need to know about T20 cricket, really. So Jansen's got one more ball in this over to complete it. And he's now coming over the wicket, and this is edged away down towards slip. That says something, doesn't it? That in the 14th over you've still got a first slip. And he fielded it, and there was no run. 61 for 6 off 14.
We have a super chat. Stephen Kelks very kindly sent us €2. He says, please say hello to everyone in Maastricht. Hello, everyone in Maastricht. There you go. Cheap at the price. And Sagir says, Marco Jansen appears to have a Freddie Mercury style moustache. Juan Pierre says South Africa will have this done in 10 overs. By the way, I didn't finish Jay's comment. He said, whenever I can't get myself my Anthony Gibson injection of negativity, John's hit there for me. After that shot, he's got a point, mate.
I was trying to be positive today. This is swung away into the outfield. And I think it's cleared the ropes.
Yeah.
It has.
It has indeed.
That's a
What
huge
a
6.
Beautiful shot. Handsome shot by Mal.
Well, I think they've decided they've got no choice but to press the go button. I think that's basically what this is. But that was Rabada coming back on to be dumped over mid-on for 6.
That was majestic, wasn't it? I mean, he knew his strength. He knew he had the levers there and the space to get underneath that. So good.
Here's Rabada again, and this is skewed away, square of the wicket. He didn't know where that was going at all. It's gone out to the man at point on the fence, and they've gone through for 1. But yeah, the previous ball sailed away. Kagiso Rabada's probably the one bowler who hasn't looked as effective today. Maybe a hangover from the IPL.
Well, he was injured towards the end of the IPL.
Yes, he was,
so,
yeah, indeed.
He did come off early, didn't he? And he didn't have a great IPL either. I think he was dropped for a couple of games as well, right
I think
towards
he
the end.
was, yeah.
So John, Sri Lanka need to go in this manner. 5 overs, another 50 runs would bring them to some kind of respectability.
Would bring them to about 120, yes it would.
Yeah, these two need to remain there. They've done well the last few overs. Next 2-3 overs over at a time.
Here's Shanika facing Rabada. He just pushes that one out just behind square on the offside, but the man at sort of backward point gully gets onto it, and there's no run. 68 for 6. 14 and a half overs. Yeah, there's something not quite right with Kagiso Rabada at the moment. I sense he probably needs a test match and a red ball in his hand, but South Africa don't get many of those. Here is Rabada. He's in again, and he's smashed the stumps to pieces. Big waft, clean bowled. That'll make him feel a bit better. That's exactly what fast bowlers want to see. The Sri Lankan fan in the crowd is aghast.
That was spectacularly bowled.
Yeah.
Done, Bear? Sorry,
Bit-
yeah, just
a
give
bit
us-
fuller. A
Yeah,
big
that was-
wahoo. Didn't
that
get
was
any
a-
of it.
He didn't
it
get
hit-
anywhere near, did he?
it
in
hit
terms
middle
of,
and off.
Yeah.
And made a mess of them. So a wicket for Kagiso Rabada, 68 for 7 in the 15th over.
Wow.
A 6, but only 9 off 10 balls for Dasan Shanika. And we're now in the tail, as Bennett prophesied we would be.
I think it's a question of now Tikshana giving the strike to Matthews, making sure that's because the other two, this boy can hold the bat, Tikshana, but the other two are really minnows in that sense. So Sri Lanka would do well to keep this going if Tikshana can hold one end and give the strike to Angelo Matthews. If not, unfortunately, as we saw, it's battable, John. It's not like you cannot really hit those shots.
Absolutely. Well, here is Tikshana facing Rabada, and he gets behind it, plays it back up the pitch. No run.
The Mahesh mystery ball is coming to send you away. Coming to send you away.
Well, that's introduced Mr. Tikshana to our audiences. Thanks for listening to us.
Jay Grover says, no Tashes, only beard. And similar message from Farong, who sent us
Rabada's in again. And Tikshana went to duck. I'm not quite sure whether it hit him actually, but it went through to Quinton de Kock. Didn't look very comfortable facing that. So 3 overs, 1 for 21 for Rabada. 15 overs gone, 68 for 7. And I think someone else is sliding into the ball-by-ball chair.
Farong sent us a photo of Mitchell Johnson with an appalling moustache from many years ago. Just to bring home the point that moustaches by themselves are not acceptable. Okay, I'll catch you in the second innings.
Indeed, I think Segur's going to join us. Sorry, my tardiness. I was trying to make cheese. The cheese had been in the fridge since, I don't know when, because it had mould all over it, but it's cheese, so you can scrape the mould off.
That's what cheese is.
Exactly. So it's exactly what I did, but it was very, very full of flavour. It didn't taste like a cheddar, put it that way. Hello, Sagir. How are you, mate?
Hello. How are you?
Yeah,
Fine,
I'm good. This is a shambles by the Sri Lankans. This is, I don't know if you've got bat on that. It's come off the pad, but it's going to be a run down to man on the 45. Who isn't on the 45? He's deep. It's a leg by.
This innings just reminds me of the time when Siraj ran through Sri Lanka in those. I think it was the World Cup match. And then before that in the Asia Cup game as well, when they were like 51 all out and 50 something all out.
Does feel a bit like that, doesn't it? They've been all over the place. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, South Africa going to have too few to really shouldn't be troubled. But
well, I guess South Africa are just buffering themselves against any potential losses or chokes against some of the other teams. So they thought they might as well just get the best of what they can for now.
Well, indeed, that's played out to the leg side. There's a bit of a mix-up. Unfortunately, the fielder, who did a good stop, is Aidan Markham. The ball got away from him instead of going past him. They sort of stood in the middle of the pitch looking at each other going, are we going to run? Are we going to run? Unfortunately, the ball gone too far away from Markham to be able to chase it down, really. And so they had time to think it through and get through for the single.
So how was your cheese sandwich?
Cheese on toast, and it was good. Filled a hole. Slower ball. Ooh, for Nokia. Big swing, no ding from Angelo Matthews. Nods at the bowler, 73 miles an hour. Oof.
Andrik Nokia's figures are really unbelievable, aren't they? 3.5 overs, 3 for 7.
Yeah. And what were we saying on that podcast? You know, ban IPL. and how was he going to perform? Well,
I think bowlers of his pace always find some way to get back in the game.
Yeah, well, I think he's got hold of that one. Has he got enough of that? No, he hasn't. So I love about these long boundaries. Angelo Matthews has kind of tried to follow it and try to hit it for 6 over long leg. But the boundaries are long and the fielders are out. And he didn't get enough on it. And we have to say goodbye to Angelo Matthews.
So get on your bike and take a hike right out of here.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? Oh, these
seem to be quite appropriately sized boundaries as well. I was a bit surprised. Yeah. I had initially thought that because these grounds are mostly pop-up grounds or makeshift grounds from baseball stadia, I thought that they might have shorter boundaries, but it looks like they've done a good job of this.
Yeah, I mean, they're shorter than the ones we saw yesterday, I think. I mean, one of the straight boundaries 85 metres yesterday, which is a pretty long hit. As long as they're just not, 55, 60. I don't mind if they're sort of
Correct,
high
yeah.
60s to early 70s. That's fine. It's just that extra,
No, I think 80 should be pretty standard. Like, cricket regulates every other measurement, but they don't have any fixed minimum requirement for
I think
the
that's-
length of
but
the
I think
boundary on
that's-
either side.
They're supposed to be 75, I think. Nortkia
Really?
is going to continue. Oof, that's in a block hole, but well defended out. That's what someone said.
I think
is
only
there a-
one of them is.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't
to
think
the
they're supposed to
sides,
be.
one
I
is-
think that's what they're trying to average out around here.
I think to the sides, one of them's 73 and one's 63, but I think one of the boundaries long ways is 75 metres.
That's a big hit,
Right.
That's 50.
75 is still pretty
Yeah,
good,
it's a
amount,
decent
isn't
hit.
it?
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's 15 metres longer than an average IPL boundary. That's quite a long way. That's 50 feet. It's the length of a house, more.
Well, I'm into giving bowlers a chance.
Yeah, same here.
Why
Absolutely. And we need to address that balance between bat and ball as well, isn't it? I mean, I'm not a big fan of watching the IPL, but this year's scores were just something else and just put me off even more.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Nortkia's in. Missed. Swing, no ding. Through the keeper and there's no run. And then there's no one left really now for Sri Lanka. Who was that who's come in? Patarana. We should play him a jingle as well. Do you want to give us some socials?
Yeah, Stephen Kelk said that Maastricht waves back. It was because someone was asked to say hello earlier on. Mayank says there's lots of sand in the field. Dikshana slammed a shot into the ground and there was a massive puff of sand came up, just like it's a beach. No wonder the field is slow. And Pirate Badshaw said last time I checked, the minimum was 60 metres, though older grounds are grandfather in the rules, so they don't have to come through.
Well, a minimum of 60 is pretty much where they go with the IPL, isn't it?
It is.
Minimum.
Yeah.
We'll have a
Which
minimum
is
boundary.
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, the one at Chinnaswamy is about 60, 65 at best, I think.
There's Bartman's back into the attack. And bowls it full and straight. And Tikshana just covers up and defends it into the offside. There's no one. 70 is nowhere near going to be enough. Not even to trouble, even if the wicket is doing a bit, I think. It's 3 and over.
Well, unless Patirana and Tikshana unfurl a vicious spell of some sort.
Yeah. But I can't see that.
There's no scoreboard pressure, is there?
No, there's none,
So-
there's none
No,
whatsoever.
nothing. No. Tikshana, I think, in a pre-match.
That's driven up to mid-off, and there is no run.
Yeah, so in a pre-match interview, Tikshana said that he aims to bowl at least 12 Yorkers today. Let's see whether he sticks to his target.
But if he gets 12 and they all get a wicket, they might win. And he does them in the first 6 overs.
Well, I think what Sri Lanka had to do was probably dress up in orange and masquerade as Netherlands, and that might have put South Africa off track completely.
Very good.
Yeah. Bartman bowls short, ducked underneath by Tikshana, through to the keeper. There's no run. They don't really know what to do here. Bat out of the overs. You might as well just swing the bat and see if you can get a couple of lucky sixes. Get up into the 80s or 90s.
Question now is whether Sri Lanka bat out the full 20 overs or they just go and get as many as they can quickly, because this will affect their net run rate as well.
Yeah, I just get it done quickly. Oof,
Same
they,
here.
they can't even get a bat on the ball at the moment. That one's just prodded at by Tikshana, beats his outside edge and there's no run. I mean, the ball has done appreciably quite a lot through the innings. Looks like there's a little bit of live grass on the wicket. Even that one's gone a tiny bit, and we're in the 16th over? 17th over.
And see, there's that puff of sand again
Yeah.
just before
Again,
the keeper gathers
very
it.
noticeable.
When I first saw this pitch, I thought, I almost did a double take. I thought, are these guys playing in South Africa? Because it looks very much like those pitches you get at Super Sport Park or Cape Town.
Yeah, it's quite mottled, isn't it? A bit of live grass, dead grass. That one's through to the keeper and there's no run. Could be a bit too paced.
Yeah, I think we've seen evidence of that, haven't we? With one or two sort of leaping through early,
Yeah.
and one or two almost on the second bounce or whatever.
So how many pitches have they got there? 4 or 8? 6?
I think 6.
6 at each
on
ground.
the square. Yeah, I think on the square they have 6.
Okay, that's down the leg side. They're giving us a wide.
Like a mercy run.
The first run of the over.
Yeah. In the 17th, it's not great, is it, Money? 8 wickets down.
No. Well, the trouble is, Bennett said that the last two players should be commonly referred to as ferrets that go in after the rabbits. So.
Yeah, not great. Prodded out again by Tikshana through to the keeper, and there's no run.
How frustrating is this for the bowler that the batter can't even get an edge and you're bowling a lovely line?
Yeah, it is. But in T20, you go, well, look, I've gone 3 overs, 1 for 4. I'll take that in a T20. Yeah, so as in the IPL, I'd have gone for 60. Patarana is gonna face up to the 18th over. I don't know who's going to bowl
says
it.
I paid $250 for this ticket, plus $40
How much?
for parking, and drove 3 hours from Philadelphia. I hope this goes to the final over of the South African innings. I want a full amount, man. I think
Yeah.
I might be
Heck.
disappointed, mate.
Well, I think so.
He also says I'm beginning to think India and Pakistan's going to be a very low-scoring shit game.
Could
but
well
at least
be.
the ground will be packed to the rafters on that one.
Yeah, well, that one is through to the keeper. And is there any chance you can turn yourself up, John? Do you know how to do that at your end?
I can try.
You're very clear, but you're quite quiet.
Well, I thought I was quite loud.
No.
So, I'll tell you what. I'll have a go at that between the innings.
No, well, you've just done it, so you've just gone up in volume there.
Oh well. Hey,
Yeah, I can hear you clear.
That one's gone straight up in the air from Patarana, trying to work it into the leg side. There is a man underneath it. It is that Markram?
Markram, I
It
think,
is
isn't it?
Markram, yeah.
Absolute dolly.
Yeah, absolute dolly. It's got a long way up, but not very far. And New York has got 9 wickets. Well, obviously the South Africans got 9 wickets in New York, and we have to say goodbye to another one.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
So you're doing a commentatorship for the Euros on Sports Flash?
It is true. I am. Yes. Got some interesting games coming up.
When do
Germany
they
and
start?
Hungary. Germany and Hungary, and the Netherlands and France, and a few interesting games like that.
When did you do that from home? Did they send you a feed? Yeah.
Yeah.
So very much like this, but probably with a better feed. Sports Flash is the Indian lot.
No, it's Flash Score. It's
Flash Score,
It's,
okay.
it's actually it's actually Czech based,
Oh, okay.
based in Prague. So yeah,
There's a big concentration of sports at the moment, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, the French Open going on, and we have got the Cricket World Cup, then we have the Olympics, the Euros, then there'll be Wimbledon as well, somewhere in between all of this.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy couple of months of sports. Love it. Rabada is in. Last wicket for the Sri Lankans. 71 for 9. Tishara is the last man out. I don't think we have a jingle for him. He was the one man I couldn't find, Mog, if you're still there. I couldn't find
Mog
it.
probably didn't think he'd be in long enough to worry.
Well,
That's true. or maybe he thought he wouldn't come out to bat.
Well, wouldn't bother at all. Yes, quite.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Rabada in. Bowled. Tishara doesn't like this pace at all.
I think it's fair to say he doesn't really want to be there.
No, he's backing away, flinching at the ball.
He was almost at square leg then.
He could declare himself out and just call this innings closed and then just come out to bowl straight away.
Rabada is in, he backs away again, plays it out to point somehow, and there's no run. More ball onto bat rather than bat onto ball, I'd say that was.
Someone's just said, can Sri Lanka get to 100? I think the answer to that is
No.
No.
I went under 111 and a half, and I was trying to get under the. They were offering me about 99 and a half, and then it just disappeared at 2-1. I couldn't get under that.
To be fair, PNG did a better job against the West Indies yesterday in comparison.
Yeah, well, Oh, we should have run that one. That's a single for crying out loud.
Well, it was the
Tishara
last
doesn't
ball
take
of
it.
this
It
over.
was the last ball of the over, but still, you've got to take everyone on offer. It's 71 for 9. Inside edge onto pad down to what would be a very fine third man, but they didn't go for the run. So Tishana is going to take the next ball. He's only got 1 off 9 anyway.
Mayank, Stephen Kelk's asking Mayank, you're at the ground, how many people are in the crowd? It doesn't look like many. And Mr. P said, gosh, what's happened? Sri Lanka have been shellied, which is pretty much accurate. And Messages has said, no boundary shall be longer than 90 yards, 82.29 metres, and no boundary should be shorter than 65 yards, 59.43 metres, from the centre of the pitch to be used.
That must be in the laws of the game.
That's
there you
still
go.
a short boundary, though.
Yeah, it is. Well, Bartman is in, and it's a big swing, no ding from Tishana. 1 off 10, 71 for 9, Sri Lanka. 19th over.
I think those dimensions are quite suitable for under 19s, maybe under 17s as well. But as you go through the senior ranks, you know, I think you need to push it back another 10, 15 meters.
Yeah.
Is it only me every time you say Bartman that's thinking of The Simpsons?
No, that's what I assumed his jingle would be, but we didn't have one. Oh, it would have been a run out. Because Tishana didn't want to go for the run, but Tusara, he did want to go for the run. He was sent back. He got 3/4 of the way down and then was sent back. There was an easy run there, and they should probably take some of these runs. You never know, they might win. Got to be positive.
Ooh, I doubt that. Well, Chris Silverwood might not be a happy man.
No. Bartman in again. Swish, no ding from Tishana. Through to the keeper, Quinton de Kock. And there ain't no run. This is a bit of humiliation for the Sri Lankans. Unless they get away with it, unless they have South Africa 10 for 5.
Shana was doing his best then to buy a ticket, but he can't get in the raffle.
No.
Can he? That's all. It's sorrowful.
Bartman.
You know, you have to feel for the South Sri Lankan fans over here.
Yeah, oh, that's a good shot. Pulled over the top, mid-on is up. And consequently, it goes over the top of mid-on and down to the boundary. First one of these for a while, it's 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Finally got hold of one. Yeah, there's a big puff out of the outfield when it hit there.
Yeah, it's certainly sandy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mayank has said apparently capacity is 34,000, and I'd say about 15,000 are in, 80% Sri Lankan.
Cool. Big swish, no ding once more. Tishana having a flat.
I mean, let's not forget that the sole purpose of this stadium was to host the India-Pakistan match, so they could get as much money as they can from gate receipts as well. That there are better facilities in the US compared to this one, where they could have actually hosted the games, but they just wanted to cash in on the expatriate crowd over there.
Yeah, I think it's good for New York to have a stadium if it's a World Cup that's full and driven up towards long on. He'll get himself a single, retain the strike, 1 over to go, 76 for 9 on a Sri Lankan ODE. John.
Yeah, O. Harris says $250 a ticket, that's why cricket's being placed in the USA. And Mayank says tickets for India games start at $300 in the cheapest seats up the top. $900 for India versus Pakistan. They were never really on sale via the ICC.
Bloody hell.
$900. Wow.
And there are people crazy enough to pay this kind of money just to go watch India play Pakistan in a World Cup game, just so that they can say that, yeah, I was there that day. It's crazy.
Which the organisers must know, otherwise they wouldn't price them at that.
Oh, absolutely.
They must know that people are going to pay that crazy money.
Yeah. No, I remember
otherwise
when
you priced yourself out of the market.
When India plays West Indies in the US, tickets are no less than $250, and people still go to the grounds.
Janssen is in, comes down the track, run out.
That's a run out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pete Shana was trying to get back for 2, which kind of makes sense because Yashara can't hit it off the park, but he also can't get back for 2. And they should have got 1, so they should end on 77, according to me.
Yeah, that should be 77.
Yeah, that's what I think so. However, it's like saying 76, but I think it should be 77 all out. Run rate marginally over 4. It's not going to be good enough, one would have thought, unless somehow Sri Lanka can get South Africa 10 for about 4 or 5, and then we might have a game.
I don't know. Somehow I doubt it.
Even then, I'd expect South Africa to go over the line, but it would at least cause a little bit of jeopardy if they were 10 for 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Linux Leah said South Africa are the only team that can choke this away.
I don't think the thing is they won't choke in the first round because it doesn't really matter that much.
No.
Although they weren't planned to lose to Sri Lanka, which is very true. Yeah, it's not a kind of game that if they lose everything is lost either. I would probably, it's going to be interesting, isn't it, because Sri Lanka came out and struggled all over the place. They decided to bat. There's no pressure on South Africa. They have bowled outside, they've been put in the field, they have done their job. If their opening batsmen come out and it clicks and they get lucky, this could be over in like 5 overs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
and it will show, if it does, that'll be bad for the Sri Lankans because they'll show that, wow, it wasn't that bad to bat on. And they were just horrific. Yeah, you can have a bad day. Everyone can have a bad day, but that's shocking.
But we know that Quinton de Kock is not going to die wondering what's going to happen. He'll probably come out all guns blazing.
Absolutely.
And then let's not forget they've got guys like Klaasen and Miller in that middle order as well.
Yeah,
and if they need to steady the ship, Markham does a fantastic job.
Well, exactly that. But if they're all exposed extraordinarily early to a ball that's actually doing something, like it was for the South Africans, I'm not sure the
instead of 78,
good, but
but instead of 78, if the target was say around 120, then I think that would have been a possible scenario. But I'm afraid that 78 might be a little bit too low.
It is. I think it is. That's what I mean. I think they need 5 wickets in the first 4 or 5 overs.
Yeah.
10 for 5. And that's it. I'd still expect South Africa to win if that was the case. But I think you might have a little bit of a testing game on then. Yeah.
I also don't understand why Sri Lanka sent up Hasranga up the order to bat at 4.
Because he's captain and he decided to.
Well, it's just weird, isn't it? When you have people like Asalanka and Matthews in your ranks, that is where those guys should be playing. I mean,
absolutely. I mean, Hasaranga's a biffer as well. He should be there for finishing 6, 7.
Yeah, true.
Around about there.
True.
But he's skipper, and he decided I'm better than the rest of you, and I'm going to bat. And he was wrong because he went charging down the wicket and got stumped second ball like a twat.
He probably should have opened then, like Sunil Narayan does.
Well, exactly. Any last messages, John? And we're going to take a little break. I think that's a 10-minute break, and then we'll be back for the second innings.
Yeah, Pirate Badshaw says, Messi Jez, I love that I was only out by 57 centimetres. That's in reference to the boundaries, I think. And Mayank says, India and Pakistan earn well. They know we'll pay. My ticket costs $2,000. And I'm dumb enough to pay.
Yeah, but I hope it's a good game for that, man.
And O. Harris says the World Cup set to grow isn't to grow the game; it's to maximise revenue.
There is a little bit of that. But hey, I've quite enjoyed it so far. It makes a change from the IPL.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true.
Lower scoring games. Bowlers have been in it.
Yeah, and all the games so far have been really close finishes. Like the West Indies Canada one is USA Canada. West Indies PNG last night, and this morning Oman and Namibia. That was a fantastic game until it went to the super over.
Well, exactly. David Visa. It was David Visa's super over, wasn't it? But I mean, that's the thing about low scoring games. Though you're kind of always in it. Yeah. When a score is 250, if you're not at the end of the power play, if you're not 90 for none or 90 for 1, you're never going to get there, are you?
You're never going to get there. Yeah, true.
The result becomes very obvious very quickly. You know what I mean? Whereas with a low score, you can be 40 for 4 after, I don't know, maybe 10 or 11 overs and still chase down a score of 130. Quite, with not with relative ease, but it's certainly doable. You know what I mean?
I
So you can,
suspect the result of this one might be over very quickly.
well, I suspect so.
If
It'll be
it
interesting.
if it isn't, we're in for some fun.
Yeah, precisely. I'd be mad if it isn't. It'll be one of the weirdest games we'd have ever seen. Right, let's go and have a little break for 10 minutes. We shall be back. I'll go back to playing that podcast that I was playing earlier yesterday. We'll get through it in a few games. And we shall see you shortly, yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.
A couple of years, then you have the mega auction, and the reason you have so many players shifting across so many different teams, the crowds don't care to a certain extent because it's all about the players, and they tend to sort of follow the players, don't they? What it means for the pure volume of writing in cricket, that does make me a little bit sad sometimes, because I read so much stuff and I can see it's just been lifted from one place, ever so slightly changed, and all of a sudden it's on every website everywhere. But the shall we say the quality of the writing's not always there. I might be overcritical, but I think it's pure volume, and the need to get stuff out there makes the actual quality of it drags it down, I'm afraid.
Well, it's the clickbait thing, isn't it? I mean, everyone's got to have the same story, otherwise you're not up to date with everyone else who you're supposedly challenging with. I imagine there's millions and millions of websites in India all churning out the same content.
I think it's because there's just so many people, and there's just so many. Cricket is such a saturated sport. Even when it comes to media or YouTube channels or websites, there's just so many that you have to do whatever it takes to get your numbers up. Even if it means scrolling someone's personal life on the front page, they'll do it. They're ruthless.
Yeah.
Well, that's yes. That's
nature of the media.
India isn't alone. In that. Let me tell you, I wouldn't signal. Wouldn't point your finger just in that direction there. I'll tell you one thing that did come up this week for us, really interesting, and I think it was largely down the back of Jos Buttler probably being the main person who the ECB, the English governing body, they brought our players back, I think heavily stung by our World Cup experience, which we know was awful. I mean, it was an utter shambles. And they're clearly thinking we've got another tournament coming up. We don't want the same thing to happen again. So they pulled IPL players back. Jos Buttler, captain of the England team, did say, do you know what, I think I'd probably have been better staying in the IPL. He was probably saying that as it was pouring with rain for the first Pakistan T20 that therefore didn't get played. So he'd come back to captain in a match that all he could do was watch the rainfall with the rest of us, and then it didn't happen. And then we have Michael Vaughan, who's a bit of a ex-England captain. He's a bit of a
likes to cause trouble.
Yeah, he's a bit of a troll. He likes to wind people up, and certainly does so. But both of those guys said that Jos Buttler, the England players would have been better staying in the IPL than coming back to play as a group a warm-up series before they went off to the USA and the West Indies for the T20 World Cup. What would you say to Jos, and would you say fair enough, or would you disagree, do you think?
Summer at Waitrose is good right now. Get ready for some serious grazing. Why not pick up creamy pecorino and tomato pesto dip, cheddar and hot honey pinwheels, or Welsh rarebit Scotch eggs? Just a selection of deli delights on offer at 2 for £5.50 online or at your local Waitrose. The perfect spread for lazy summer days. Waitrose. Food to feel good about. Selected lines and stores subject to availability.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Looking to start a side hustle or become your own boss? Do it with Shopify. Whether you're selling succulents or stilettos, Shopify has the industry-leading tools to help you create, control, and grow your own business. So get serious about selling and get Shopify today. Sign up for a £1 per month trial period at shopify.co.uk/special offer, all lowercase. That's shopify.co.uk/special offer.
And it honestly depends on Josh, because if he's fit enough, if he's not getting overworked, then he can stay back. We'd love to see him play, but when I think of that, honestly, I'll go a bit off track with this. I think of the Indian players, because BCCI would never ever pull someone out of the IPL for a World Cup. They would never do that.
Yeah.
That's what baffles me, because Australians as well as English players would leave the IPL for national duty anytime they want. I think they do it. They're that focused on national duty. It's not the same case in India.
Well, the worry for the world of cricket is if India leads and eventually and fairly quickly the rest of the world follows, then that does, I think I mean our only comeback would be, however you do it, you need to allow more space between the end of your flagship domestic tournament and the start of a major world tournament. It's not beyond the wit of man to have found a way to slightly shorten the IPL or to just put the start of the World Cup back. I know scheduling's a nightmare, but don't tell me there isn't a solution somehow, because I just don't believe it. Basically.
And if I'm not wrong, they increased the number of matches this year.
Yeah.
So it 90 something matches, if I'm not wrong, and it lasts 2 months, 2 whole months.
Tell us about it.
If you've got I know.
It was 10 weeks, wasn't it? It is interminably long. It takes up a long time, and there's so many games towards the end that have no meaning whatsoever. And that's what I mean about will the Indian public ever get bored of it? You say no, but I mean, it just goes on forever.
I'm bored.
Yeah, well, exactly.
You said that. Yeah, it's your job.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's more concerning for me, because it's my job, like you said. But yes, it's just way too long at this point. But IPL is a business. See, I spoke to John T. Rhodes for an interview. My show is launching actually. It's all about mental health, but he just said that the IPL is business, and it is. So you have to. I think BCCI is only thinking about money at this point and the teams, which is okay, fair enough. You get to earn a lot, we don't. But anyway, having the IPL so close to the World Cup, I think it's very debatable. It's outrageous at this point, because in the last T20 World Cup as well, I remember there was a few days gap between the final and the World Cup, and I think Rohit Sharma was Rohit Sharma? Was it CSK versus MI? Yes, Rohit Sharma was playing, the captain. So I don't know. I don't understand.
I mean, that's an obvious question. I can understand why Australia didn't pull players out from the IPL, because it's winter in Australia, so they probably don't get to practice at home anyway, so you might as well play at home. I mean, on this issue with Joss, I'm not really that fussed whether you're playing. It's T20. I don't care whether you're playing in the IPL
tonight anyway, because he's for birth of his third child. So
well, exactly. But he said he was going to
one of 3 so far.
Well, he said he was going to miss the beginning of the World Cup if his child came along as well. So I mean, that's obviously very important to him, and that's fair enough. But I mean, I don't care whether if you're playing T20 and he's a power hitter, right? So whether he's playing in India or in England, I'm not really that fussed. Team gelling, they've all played together. I'm not sure I really go with this argument. Plus, we're playing in England, then we're going to go to America where we don't know what the pitch is like, and we're going to go to the West Indies where they're probably going to be reasonably slow and low, because they have been recently. How much does it help? It certainly didn't help in the 50 over World Cup, but in the T20 I think it's less important because of the nature of the game. But yeah, I mean, are the Indian players going to be jaded? I mean, they've just spent 10 weeks on a total over and over again, day after day on the treadmill, T20, all this thing, as you say, and then they've got to go away. Do they take their families with them? Are they just feeling, God, I've had enough of T20, I've just been playing it for 10 weeks and I'm going to go out and now I've got another big tournament with loads of pressure? I mean, is there a sense of that in India?
I think so, yes. I mean, you'd have to be a superhuman to not feel jaded after a 2-month-long tournament that did fill your bank accounts, but is it helping in the national cause? Is it going to do you any good in the World Cup? Because
we are back for the second innings. And John is going to do your bull by bull. Al. All right, Al. How you doing? Midweek? Early week?
Just finished work.
That's an early finish. Oh no, I suppose it's 5:15, isn't it? Shit.
It is.
Keep
Don't say early finish. There might be someone from my work who's listening.
Good to see you, Al.
Good to see you too, John. Got some questions for you about the website that you're commentating for, and also about your book.
Fabulous.
While we're going through this,
I'm sure we'll get some in.
Yep.
Anyway, it's going to be Angelo Matthews, I think, to open up. He's in to Quinton de Kock, who lays it down in front of him. Little anxious look, as to try and make sure it hadn't rolled back onto the stumps, I think, but it hadn't.
Let's have some jingles for the players. We have this man batting.
Quinton de Kock has a name you can mock, but he's really quite useful at cricket. I have heard that he can open the bat, even if he's not keeping wickets.
That's the bowler.
Here is Matthews. And that's played out to cover no run. So you can jingle up Mr.
Matthews.
Run into bowl, or he comes into bat. Angelo Matthews. Angelo Matthews.
And the batsman at the other end is this man.
You wear a shirt, the yellow and green.
Talk over the top of it.
Here is Matthews in again, and that's played out on the offside for no run. So Quinton's having a little look, I think you could say, and he's got plenty of time to do so after Sri Lanka only mustered 77.
Yeah, it need to be 17 overs in order for the run rate to be pressurised. Yeah.
Henrik Nokia 4 for 7. Fabulous figures for him. Here's Matthews into de Kock, who lays this out to mid-wicket, no run. But, that is actually Henrik Nokia's best ever figures in T20 internationals. In fact, 4 for 7, beating his previous best of 4 for 10. So, Matthews has bowled 4 dots. He really needs to get Quinton de Kock out in order to change this game appreciably. That one's down the leg side. It's been signalled wide, so South Africa are underway. Mendes did quite well to get across there and get something on that and prevent it.
Well, I bet on England to win, you know. I got 9-2 with a bet boost of 25%. I thought that was pretty good odds for England.
Does Matthews count as dibbly-dobbly speed at 74 miles an hour?
He certainly does. I was about to say that myself.
Anyway, he's in and he bowls, and this is played away square by Quinton de Kock. Fielder comes in off the point boundary, throws it back in. So the first run off the bat.
Well, I'm going to be hopeful and go for under 23.5 for the fall of the first wicket, just because I kind of like to see a game and a couple of wickets fall early.
What are the odds for South Africa to win by 10 wickets?
In this game? Yeah, they don't tell. That's not the kind of thing you can do in play. You can probably find it out.
There's nothing. Hendricks on strike. 1,829 runs in T20 internationals, average of 32. Oh, that's a bit uppish. Flies away though, wide of the slips. I think it's going to go all the way for 4. It does.
It wasn't very convincing though. I can tell you the odds. Sri Lanka are 50-1, which I think is reasonably generous. But South Africa 500-1 on. Which is
not worth a bet.
No. Although I do remember. Do you remember when the West Indies beat Sri Lanka in that World T20? And Jaya Wardner and they had Dilshan and Sangakkara. The West Indies were in all sorts of trouble. They were about 60 for a lot. And only was it Sam Marlon Samuels was in. They somehow managed to creep to about 117 or something. And at one point their odds were 250-1. And I said to someone on air, we should bet on that, it'd be funny. And I kept betting on Sri Lanka because I was convinced they were going to win it, and they didn't. I was like, fuck.
Well, here's the Shara coming on to have a bowl. It's in, and
Ooh.
oh my goodness, that is a full bunger that pitches wide of the stumps. It's been signalled as a no ball.
That's too high. Fuck me.
So it's too high. It almost didn't. Well, it went behind the stumps before it pitched, I think. Oh my word, that was really slingy.
Yeah. We have a no ball. What are we going to have? We've got a no ball. Here is a jingle for no ball.
I know it don't look good, we're over the line.
And it's a free hit, of course, for too high. So he's into De Kock, who just plays this away on the leg side. Fielder coming round. He's scamper back for a couple.
They're sort of like MCG length boundaries.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Square of the wicket, aren't they?
By the way, I have to
There's
say,
a lot of real estate there.
yeah, there is. It's great. Sagir has sent it a $5
super chat.
Yeah. Did you read that out?
No, I was going to.
Oh, okay.
The Bears cheese toasty bits.
Yeah.
You,
I had to scrape the mould off some cheddar, but of course it was quite tasty once the mould had been scraped off.
There he's in again, and this is inside edged, past the leg stump, and fielded at short fine. They got through for a single.
I have to say, Sri Lanka look a bit shell-shocked.
Yeah, they do. This is an extraordinary action from Vikshana.
Well, they've all probably grown up watching Malinga, didn't they?
Yeah, Malinga the slinger, and it is very slingy, it has to be said. Extremely slingy. I think, to be fair to him, one or two have actually swung a bit, but they've started so far out that it makes it very difficult to achieve an awful lot. He's coming in again to Hendricks. He comes now.
Oh!
A bit more on the stumps, it's edged away and caught. Well, there you go.
Well, there's one of them. I said they need to be 10 for 4, so they need to get a move on. But yeah, it's quite a poor shot, really, wasn't it?
It's not a very good shot. I mean, he played a shot that went for 4 in the last over, that was quite similar, and he's just poked at that, and it's been taken at slip.
Well, we're going to send him off with this.
Fuck off! Just fuck off! The crowd says, the crowd says, the crowd says you're out!
So there seems to be plenty of pace in the wicket. I mean, I was watching Dale Staines' sort of pitch analysis at the change of innings, and it looks like there's a whole massive crazy paving just beneath the surface. If you weren't you were talking about mould on cheese. It looks like proper Stilton, just veins of blue underneath the surface.
Yeah, it's definitely got a mottled feel to it, hasn't it?
Yeah. So pace in the wicket, big boundaries, square of the wicket. There might be a litany of quite low-scoring games that we get from this.
From the surface, I don't think it's pacey, Alan. I think it's pretty slow actually, and I think it's got a bit of live grass on it. It certainly does stuff for the bowlers, and it did for quite a. It wasn't just your usual 1 or 2 overs at the top. It was still doing stuff after 6, 7, 8 overs.
Yeah. Well, the Proteus skipper is in. Aidan Markram. High score of 17 T20 internationals, and he's played that first one.
Oh my goody, yeah. That is. Well, you talked about him being shell-shocked there. That was some awful fielding. They only went for the single, but dear good grief, 2 of them couldn't field the ball together.
That was a terrible shot, wasn't it? Let's have a jingle for the new man.
Cause he's a grinner, a part-time spinner, and this Safa, yes he's a winner. Playing his shots out in the sun. He's a stroker, not mediocre. He's no World Cup choker. He gets us moving.
Over to you, John.
Well, De Kock is back on strike. He's played that out on the leg side. Scampered through for one more. 12 for 1. Yeah, the fielding doesn't look great. I suppose you're pretty dispirited when you've only got 77 on the board. But it was a horrible shot from Hendricks to get out earlier in the over. Didn't look like he'd got his feet sorted out at all today. Just poking at the ball. There's Markram back on strike. Watching on from the dugout. This is played out on the left side, I think, by Markram. They've scampered through for 1 ball. For some reason my feed is slowing down and speeding up, which isn't making life terribly
easy.
I'll get through a couple of tweets. Woi Pom, since this is a bear game, I might as well go down to the pub. Jay Grover, I don't even think Atif's commentary could interject jeopardy into this match. And Brian Barish, it's almost like when you plop a cricket ground into the middle of nowhere, you don't really have a guide for the length of the boundaries.
No, indeed. I like this. My Access Bear put £2,000 on South Africa to win. It's free cash. Yeah, that's a £4 return for my £2,000 though. I don't like that return rate.
Yeah. Yeah, less than a fiver.
Yeah. That's not good. That's not good. We don't. That's not a good bet.
Yeah, we don't condone that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Here's Matthews. He's in. And, my feed has slowed down again, so.
And you've gone really quiet again. I don't understand.
Oh no, this isn't good.
You sounded a bit. You sounded a bit like Joyce Grenfell then, John.
Oh no!
But that, don't do that.
Try pulling the mic more down in front of your mouth.
That's not good either. How does that sound? Is that better?
A little bit better. Have you got anything you can actually turn yourself up at that end?
If I could get back into my settings, I could do it. But,
there you go.
You see, you get louder when you do that, when you're leaning forward. Is that an edge?
How weird. Perhaps I'm just too far away. But that one, it's gone through. So 13 for 1. 13 for 1 off 2.2. Matthews has slid that one through. That was a decent ball, actually.
It was.
Markram poking at it somewhat. A little bit of bounce. He's in again. And this is hit Markram. Oh dear. That might have got him in the screaming EBGBs, I think.
I think it has.
I think that might have
or the
got him
Ghoulie Woolies, as Ebony Rainford Brent famously said.
Yeah, the right unmentionable, I think.
Ouch.
Inside edge. Oh no, straight in there. Fuck me.
Straight
That's painful.
into the right unmentionable.
That's painful.
Ouch. Yeah. He's not rubbing them, he's counting them. That's not good at all. He's still on his haunches.
Yeah.
Is Mr. Markram.
Yeah. I think he hit a top C there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks at a bit of discomfort, does he not?
Who needs a tight trouser belt, huh? Yeah, that's not good. That is definitely not good. He's just flat on the ground.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit down for a sec.
Oh dear.
I don't think jiggling his legs is going to
No, I don't think jiggling his ankles is helping terribly over much, because it's about 3 feet away from where the problem is.
Yeah.
Dear me.
That's a physio desperately trying to earn money somehow.
I think he needs an ice pack down the trousers. That's what I think he needs.
Yeah, exactly. Get the magic spray out.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be proper magic spray.
Someone should have bought him a tissue to wipe the tears from his eyes, I should imagine, because I should imagine he's weeping there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not pleasant. I should imagine we've all had one of those in there at some point during our cricketing careers, have we not?
Yes, we have.
And that's not clever.
No, not really.
We do empathise, much as it sounds like it's quite amusing. We do empathise, because yeah, that's not fun, not at all. Is anyone talking to us, Al?
Let me see. Just fresh some. Brian says hello. So, hiya, Brian. Brian says tingly balls jingle.
Well, Markram's ready again. In comes Matthews, and that's played out on the leg side. Straight to the man at mid-wicket. No run.
And Jay Grover, to quote our beloved captain, "Oh, right in the deck."
Yes.
Yeah.
Always rely on Jay to get straight to the point.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe his version of operation is slightly different than ours.
Yes, indeed. Well, here's Markram again facing Matthews, and he just plays that down in front of him. It's no run. So it's a sedate start by South Africa, chasing this minuscule target of 78, thanks to Henrik Nokia's 4 for 7. I think it's fair to say the big man was on the money today.
It's funny with this sort of total, it almost makes you slightly more risk averse as a chasing side.
Yeah, particularly in your first game of the tournament, I would suggest. This is played out square. And there's a man out on the 2/3 of the way back at point, and throws it back in. 14 for 1 at the end of the over.
We are up to date on social media, so I was going to ask you about. Bear with me a second. Farong. Well, if they do apply the spray, let's say it isn't capsicum spray. No one wants deep heat down there. And Jay Graver, what can Dick Physio do has become an internal question for cricketers. Or maybe just you, Jay. I don't know.
Well, we've got Thushara coming in again to bowl, and this is right on the money. It's played back to him along the pitch, and he fields off his own bowling. No run.
Yeah, he's I had worries when with his first delivery being quite so out of control, but he's regathered himself pretty well.
Yes, he seems to be controlling the sling, as they say. He's being treated respectfully at the moment by South African batsmen who aren't in any hurry. Seems to be running in from an inordinately long way. He's coming again, and this is driven over extra cover.
That's a glorious shot.
That's a glorious shot. It's gone all the way. It's cleared the fence.
Beautiful
gone for
shot.
6.
Held the pose, didn't he, after he hit that one?
It's a glorious free swing, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was just enough width there, and he just thought, okay, I'm just going to free the hands, hit through. It's a lovely shot. Didn't make any attempt to get his foot anywhere near the field because he knew the field was up, and he knew if he made good contact, it would sail away, and it did.
Yeah.
Lovely shot. Well, what's the response from Thushara? He's in to bowl, and it's on leg stump. Turned away by Markram, who's coming back for a second run.
That is well run.
Gets comfortably. 22 for 1 in the 4th over. Ever since you complimented Thushara, he's gone off again.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry, for
commentators cursed from Al.
For those of you who wanted a close game, I do apologise. I'd like to say that tonight's winning lottery numbers will not be.
Yeah, don't bet with Al. Here's Thushara again. Gathers himself, comes in, past the umpire and bowls. This is again turned off the leg stump. Out to square of the wicket. Big wicket fields it before square leg can pick it up. He'll come through for one more.
If the commentator's curse was real, I would use it for things like looking out of the window and going, well, it looks like there's a lot of traffic on the way to work today. You know.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah, that would be handy, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah.
Markram's got 12 now, all of a sudden. Cock just 5 from 9 balls. Very sedate from him. but he knows he's not in a hurry. He fancies some red ink.
Nearly halfway there, aren't they?
And he's had a swish at that one. It's gone through all along the ground, pretty much.
Yeah.
The keeper manages to stop it. Sort of fumbles it out in front of him. No run. He might have done himself a mischief.
Oh, Jesus, man. This is just injury after injury, isn't it?
This isn't good for Sri Lanka, is it? They've...
that really burns the worms, doesn't it?
Oh, ouch. That's right on the tips of the fingers. Oh, dear. Oh, that will be sore. Ouch.
And it kind of jerked the glove around as well in the process as well, didn't it?
That's a sore one. But, in comes Tushara again. And this is driven back along the pitch by de Kock, but no timing. So it's the end of 4 overs, 23 for 1. Tushara 1 for 16 from 2.
No, Leah says I should check YouTube. I do have YouTube on my phone, and I didn't see anything. Aha! Let's have a look at some stuff. If South Africa could finish this in the next 10 minutes, that would be nice, so that I could record another Darksiders Let's Play, says Linux. Mayak, another reason why I like IPL and I've never watched Sagir. It's like I'm watching basketball. I sometimes watch it for the cheerleaders, says Sagir. Mayak, if Sri Lanka can make this a game go to 10 overs, that's a close game. Also, ball not rising is a concern. Multiple times the shower is balling and the ball is rolling along the ground. And also there are no cheerleaders on the ground.
That over from Shanika is just played out for no run.
Sorry, John.
That's okay. No problem.
We should give the bowler a little jingle.
A jingle, yep.
He came here from Sri Lanka as an all-round devotee.
Oh,
He bowled okay, but with the batting average less than...
That is a wicket for the new bowler. It was a ball that was pretty much on middle and leg. Batter went to Markram went to turn it away on the leg side, and it took the outside edge of your bat and flew to slip. So 2 down for South Africa.
Interesting
23
stuff.
for 2, and Markram's gone for 12.
Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust.
Yeah, he went to turn it away and didn't reach him as quickly as he thought it would, I don't think, and he was through the shot and just sort of spooned it behind the stumps to slip. And he's gone for 12, 23 for 2 in the 5th.
Ooh, come on, another couple of quick wickets, and see the fear strike into the South Africans as well.
Well, this would be the ultimate South African choke, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be, wouldn't it?
Chasing 78 to win.
Now this dude's a big hitter, isn't he? Tristan
Stubbs to cheer Tristan Parade. He offers more for what he's paid. He can bat, bowl, and even keep. It's time that Stubbs he made the lead.
Did my ears deceive me, or was that a reference to Tristan Gray?
I have no idea.
I pass.
That's very weird. That is very weird. A reference to 50 Shades of Grey into a jingle about Tristan Stubbs.
Is this,
interesting.
So a bit of a biffer, we said.
Yeah, he definitely likes to get on with it. Well, let's see if he can. Here's Shanika into Gray, and he's... Oh, has he touched that down the leg side? Well, it's given us a wide. The wicketkeeper appealed. He was... I know they always appeal when it goes down the leg side because they don't want a wide to be signalled. They might review
I
this.
thought it came off the thigh pad. I don't think it came
They've
off the
got
bat.
absolutely jack all to lose.
Well, exactly. Just review it.
They have reviewed it by the looks of things.
Well, I think they're right to, because I mean it may turn out to be
Well, I was saying in the first innings, I kept seeing these ones jagging. It looked like people had edged it through to the keeper and it had just gone off the seam. And it was just like, oh, no one was really going up. I think that's one of those. I think it's jagged down the leg side.
Well, obviously, if it's come off the thigh pad as you think, Bear,
it won't be a wide.
It won't be a wide anyway. So at least they'll get the wide knocked off. But yeah, there's nothing to be lost by reviewing this, because if by any chance there is some bat on it, then you've got rid of another one, haven't you?
No, he's missed it by a fucking mile.
It's come off the strap of the pad. So I don't think it's a wide either. I think that's come off the strap of the pad.
There is a vast yawning chasm, isn't there? Yeah, but there you go.
It's come off the pad, so it's not a
there's
wide.
the ultra edge. But
it's not a wide.
But it's always the bit that gets you goat, isn't it? I can understand maybe, oh, okay, well, we haven't got the wide, but it's such a disingenuous appeal for caught behind.
Well, he doesn't appear to have cancelled the wide, which seems a bit harsh, because it's still 24 for 2. Oh,
there
yes, he
go.
has now, and he's in again, and this is played out on the offside for no run. So at least they got rid of the wide by reviewing that. It's a very good take, actually. Having said that, by Mendes, took it really well. 23 for 2 then, going towards the end of the 5th. 2 more balls to go before we're due a bit of a switcheroo in the studio. He comes and bowls, and this is right on the stumps and just played out on the offside. So Stubbs is having a little look and curbing his natural instinct to have a dart. Storm for mark, 1 from 3.
Mayank wants to know what the odds are there.
Well, on the game?
Yeah.
So
that's been. I think that might have been put down by the keeper there, John. That last ball of the over.
Let's have a look at that again.
Look, Chris Silverwood is their manager, isn't he? 250 to 1 on South Africa, 40 to 1 Sri Lanka.
There you go.
Let's have a look at this again. Well, it's definitely taken the edge.
Look at that.
And it's not held onto it. That's straight onto those fingers that were wrapped a few minutes ago. So Stubbs is dropped on 0. So it could be 23 for 3 this. So South Africa are not finding this chase easy. We've got a little switcheroo going on. I think Al's coming on to ball by ball.
I am.
I'm slipping into the summarisers chair, and I think Messi might be rejoining us.
He is indeed. I will see you all shortly. Well, I don't know if I'll be needed for the next fight.
We'll work on it.
Well, you probably will.
Tashara comes into bowl 6th over, and that is a swing and a miss by De Kock. The ball barely makes it to the keeper. It's keeping very low with this slingy action.
They're struggling, aren't they?
Not in the groove at all, is he? He's hardly got bat on ball in this innings.
That has
a huge puff of sand.
Yeah.
It must be said, De Kock wasn't looking in form in the IPL either. He was struggling there a lot.
Yeah, he looks rusty.
This is Tashara's 3rd over. He's got figures of 1 for 16. Slingy action onto off stump, pushed down the ground by De Kock, fielded at mid-on, and we've have
got another injury.
A fielder down. Now this is what we might find with the sandy undersurface, is that where there's sliding in for fielding, the studs might catch.
Whacked him on the knee, I think.
Oh, I didn't know if it was.
I think the ball has hit him on the knee.
The ball's hit him on the knee. I thought maybe he caught his knee in the ground. But we're
seeing the drop catch is what we're.
He's not going to catch it, no matter how many times you.
No, if you show it 58 times, he still won't catch it.
Isn't that an old Monty Python sketch where a goalkeeper saves the replay of a penalty?
I think that's right.
De Kock tries to cut
like
the
a very
ball.
Tiny Bishop sort of thing.
Tries to cut a ball that is not really there to be cut. It goes 2/3 towards the edge of the circle, and they'll take a run. The cock struggling to 6 off 14 deliveries. Stubbs yet to score.
We were wandering into Monty Python quotes the other night when I was at Chelmsford watching Middlesex get thrashed by Kent. So they were coming out quite regularly.
I was going to ask you about your book in a minute, John.
Oh, please do.
Tashara spins himself in a circle. It's got to be confusing. This one's on the pad of Stubbs. That's gone fine. The wicketkeeper's after it. He'll get there just before the boundary, but they'll take a comfortable 2, I guess.
I think they settled for 2.
Yeah. John, if I get this wrong, I do apologise. A history of Middlesex?
Yeah, history of Middlesex's championship winning successes. 13 of them.
Yeah.
From way back in the early 20th century, all the way through to 2016. And the famous day against Yorkshire, much to the annoyance of all Somerset fans, dear Annie included.
They'll get over it, I guess. Tashara gets the ball to beat Stubbs' outside edge, but it bounces twice before it reaches the keeper.
Wow.
Was there a particular championship winning side that you grew in fondness for through the research?
Well, I guess quite a number of them I remember from my days of watching. I think it was generally agreed that the championship winning side of 1980 was probably the greatest one for fairly obvious reasons.
That is taken from just outside off stump play to mid-on. Stubbs will take a single, get himself on off the mark and keep the strike, and that's the end of the over.
I have to say this before I read anything else, that as a Sussex supporter, I have to say that I think Middlesex was extraordinarily selfish never to allow Sussex to win a championship until the 21st century. It was very frustrating. Mine says Sri Lanka could have made a game of it with 110 to 120. Still looks too easy in the end for South Africa. Sagir says even 100 might have been defendable. It's not as sandy as Antigua 2009 when the test was abandoned, but it did remind me of that game when I saw all the sand, says Mike. Yeah, it's becoming more and more obvious. The sand, when it pitches in front of the keeper, is quite significant, isn't it?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Shanaka's second over begins with a ball which is fielded at mid-wicket. Stubbs 1 off 8 deliveries. South Africa 27 for 2, chasing a target of 78.
I should probably explain that the 1980 Middlesex side, of course, had both Wayne Daniel and Vincent van der Bijl, so it was pretty deadly with the ball in hand.
Pretty deadly. Pushed by pushed by Stubbs. Sorry. Towards the edge of the circle there, at somewhere between point and backward point. And they'll take a single.
The only thing I would counter that with Messi is that they did, of course, have the deadly spin twins, Embry and Edmonds, who were both English and pretty tasty.
Fascinating that they would have been gone for the majority. Would they? Yeah, gone for the majority of the summer as well, and still able to contribute towards the championship winning side.
Yeah, they quite often they weren't selected for England together. They very rarely played for England together, so it was usually one or the other who ended up playing for England.
Were Justin Langer or Chris Rogers ever associated with one of the championship sides?
No, sadly not. I mean, Chris left just before the championship was won in 2016, but he was certainly responsible for helping to revive Middlesex Fortunes and get them to be a strong side, because they'd been second, I think, in the 2 previous years before winning it. So, and a lot of that was down to Buck. I saw his wonderful innings when Middlesex chased down over 400 to win on one occasion when he made a double hundred.
Just to reassure everybody,
a very nice bloke too.
We're not missing anything while we're chatting and sort of reminiscing of slightly more halcyon days of Middlesex. There's just been a break in play for some unknown reason. De Kock is going to take strike as and when the next ball is bowled.
This must be the slowest De Kock innings I've ever seen. I think 6 from 14.
Yeah.
That one wraps him on the knuckles. It goes no more than 5 yards towards the leg side. They do take a single. Good awareness by Stubbs to the call, and they're there in good time. De Kock on to 7.
Yeah, he's definitely struggling.
Yeah, sort of looking at because I didn't really see much of the Sri Lankan innings. Looking at this, you would turn around and say that 77 is definitely well below par, but maybe not as much as we might have thought.
Yeah.
As this one is mistimed, down to mid-off. No run.
I think part of the problem here is that when you're only chasing 78, as somebody said earlier, you're inclined to almost gear back, and that kind of approach doesn't really suit a lot of these South Africans, so they're almost sort of playing against themselves.
Yeah.
2 balls left in the 7th over. This one cuts Stubbs in half and somehow misses the off stump. An absolute snorter of a delivery.
That was a lovely ball. Absolutely glorious delivery. Pitched and came back even further. Went right over the top of middle and off.
I'm a bit concerned about the position of the wicketkeeper. He should be at least another 2 strides further towards the wicket.
Yeah, so the wicket is so slow, isn't it?
Too far back.
There's very little bounce in it.
Last ball of the over. On to allow Stubbs to turn it towards square leg. Sharply taken single. If you're wanting to know the answer to the question of how many Sri Lankans does it take to stop the ball being thrown at the stumps, the answer is 3. And at the end of 7 overs, it's 30 for 2. Yes.
Man in the ground, Mayank, says if Sri Lanka pick up 2 more before South Africa is 40, then it's game on for sure. He says there's a sight screen malfunction, the game has been stopped. Leah says, okay, fine, I'll do a German language warm-up for the Guerrilla Cricket Radio on Saturday with the Netherlands versus South Africa. Covering all tastes in that. Good on you, Leah. And over on YouTube, Farong says, will England regret not selecting the lad in the squad? He means Ben Duckett. Can the Scots cause an upset tomorrow? Bloody funny if they do. Yes, of course, Scotland and England are on tomorrow, and Guerrilla Cricket will be covering that for you. I shall be sound asleep, I'm pleased to say.
You're taking the game off?
Never assume anything with England.
This ball has been missed by Stubbs. Outside is off stump, and unfortunately for Sri Lanka, it's been missed by the wicketkeeper as well. Matthews coming back for his 3rd over, and that will be a bar. Or was that an under?
I think he's got an under edge on that, and it's
yes,
pitched just in front of the keeper.
Yeah, it's pretty poor.
And your call on the keeper's position is exactly what the reason that wasn't out.
Yeah,
if he'd been 2 strides further forward, he would have caught that.
Yeah.
It pitched in front of him, but he should have been further forward and caught it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not right often, but I'll take this. I'll take this as a Pyrrhic victory. Moving across De Kock, he just taps the ball and goes. Stubbs fully committed.
I think that single from De Kock illustrates that South Africa have decided that this isn't as simple a task as all of us imagined, and they're just going to have to kind of do some drop and run type cricket
Yeah.
to keep it ticking.
I think there's lots of opportunity for well-taken twos at a ground like this, as Matthews is in. And that's been under-edged by Stubbs. Nearly played onto his own stumps, but plays onto the pad instead. But for a man who's got
just about had the feet across far enough to prevent that going onto the stumps, really.
To your point, Stubbs comes with a reputation as someone who likes to free his arms and get after the ball. He is but a shadow of himself.
Well, I can't time the. I think it's really difficult to time the ball. I think this is the problem.
You really got to use your feet to get to the pitch of it, haven't you?
Yeah, we do.
A Kane Wilmington-esque dab to third man will bring Stubbs a single. He's on 5 of 15. The cock 8 of 16. And those strike rates tell you all you really need to know. The bowling hasn't been extra special, but it's setting a fairly difficult exam for the South Africans to pass.
Well, because they can't time the ball, you see, you can afford to have the field in a little bit more and stop some of the ones as well.
That is short and pulled away by De Kock, who just remembers that the bat's there for him to be able to hit the ball with, and that's gone about 30 rows deep into the crowd, square of the wicket.
That is the biggest hit of the day.
Yeah, that's gone miles.
It was a bit of a trolley ball, this to be said.
Yeah, 85 metres.
Oh my word! Yeah, he got all of that one.
Yeah, he managed to sort of keep his frame down and kind of hit on the up as he defends this last ball of the 8th over. And so, launch angle was good and timing good. That's the end of the over.
So, John, I'm pleased to say that you have an unsolicited review here from Jay Grover, who says, I have bought and read John's book. I enjoyed it very much. Buy it, or God will hit you right in the dick. There you go. I think that's simple publicity.
Cheers, Jay.
In the spirit of the general election, other gods and other injuries are available.
Indeed, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mayank says another drop catch for Stubbs. Sagir says the keeper being far behind has bitten Sri Lanka again. Drop catch it seems. Being given runs, he needs to stop standing so far back. It's just not reaching him. And Sagir says Shane Warne always used to say that if it is better to drop a catch than not be in the position to take it. Yeah, very wise words.
Shanaka to continue his third over. South Africa are 39 for 2, and to quote the wise poet and sage John Bon Jovi, they're halfway there.
Indeed, they are.
Just the 71 balls left to be able to hit the 39 requisite runs.
I'm not sure they're quite at the stage where they're living on a prayer.
No, it's true. That is true.
To be fair.
Slightly back of the length, defended by Stubbs, just out off stump.
I very much appreciate Mr. Grover's impromptu review. Not too many people have bought it, as to be said. I think I'm actually supposed to be doing a session with Bishop
market.
and the Bear about this book at some point when Mr. Bishop finishes reading it.
He's probably devouring every page as Stubbs comes down the wicket but can only play the ball back to the bowler.
He's biased anyway, he's a Middlesex fan. He's a long-suffering Middlesex fan.
Tony knows
Middlesex have passed 600 twice in 2 matches, haven't they? It's quite something.
Yes, that says a lot about the pitches in county cricket this season, Messi. I think you and I would fancy a bat on them.
Yeah, well,
It's a wide one, and slashed away by Stubbs. Only goes as far as deep cover, but that's still a good 20 yards inside the boundary sponge, and that brings up the 40 for South Africa.
Yeah, comfortably doing enough without looking very convincing on
Yeah.
a slightly sticky wicket.
No real need to be in higher gears at this stage, although this ground might prevent the higher gears from being reached.
Yes, it might.
Yeah.
This ball pitches on middle and leg, and De Kock turns that round corner to deep square leg. Takes another single, just the 2 off the over so far. And if South Africa were batting first, I'm sure there'd be all sorts of... We'd all be trouble and strife and the world's ending, but only needing 78 makes the world an awful lot of an easier place.
Yeah, you don't know how they would have approached it if they were batting first, do you really?
This one is played just past the mid-wicket towards mid-on. By the time Matthews fields the ball, the batsmen are already through. Stubbs is on 7, De Kock 15, 9 overs are gone. It's 42 for 2 and South Africa are comfy.
Andre Nuovo has joined us. It says, "Evening, fantastic GC. If South Africa keep up this dull stuff, this dull safe tap, the gods or whomever should intervene and give the win to Sri Lanka. Throw it all to the wind, even if it's blowing in your face. I reserve the right to retract this tomorrow when England play." And seeing Andre Nuovo's name reminds me that July the 11th sees the return of Test cricket in England with guerrilla cricket there, and it will be the swan song for Jimmy Anderson, for whom there is an excellent guerrilla cricket T-shirt done for the Ashes last year, designed by our friend Homre Nuovo. So go to the guerrilla cricket merchandise shop. So you've got a really good Jimmy T-shirt to wear to Lords on the 11th of July.
Well, we'll have to jingle up a new bowler in just a second. Another slingy action. Just turns the ball on to long leg stump down towards long leg. And that will take him to 8. And Bear, do you want to do the jingle?
Matisha Patirana, you won't see him, he's not quite good enough.
I like that
jingle and
insult.
Well, I was yeah. Pathirana,
put it like that.
Yes, he's had better reviews. That ball outside De Kock's off stump, a bit of a waft, bit of a nibble by De Kock. Doesn't take, just goes behind to the keeper.
It would suggest that his captain doesn't fancy him that much either, because he batted at 10 and clearly wasn't very clever with a willow in his hand, and now he's only come on to bowl with South Africa over halfway to the target.
According to the speed gun, that last ball was 91 miles an hour.
It didn't look it.
Yeah. That one has...
That looked quicker.
That was quick.
What took off?
It kind of a tennis ball bounce, and De Kock played a regulation forward defensive, and the ball must have gone past his nose. It went sort of like nose height past him.
It was climbing.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it wasn't particularly straight.
But that was rapid, and for as much as I've turned around and said that Mendes needs to be closer to the wicket,
he didn't.
Might want to take half a step back for this one. This one short and outside the off stump, and De Kock is able to cut it away, but only as far as deep cover. Takes a single. As again, the gun says 91 mph, 144.6 kph. That's your particular type of speed.
It is amazing to think, though, that De Kock's got 16 off 22 balls, and that includes a 6.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yes.
Very
Probably feels quite
Quinton-like.
strange. Feels quite strange for him as well, probably. This one straighter and played straight down the ground by Stubbs, straight to the ground, bounces over the bowler. Matthews makes good ground at mid-off, but they'll take a single. 3 off the over, 1 ball left. 1 ball left of our spell together. Gents,
Indeed, yes.
lovely to catch up. Bennett's going to come on to do some ball-by-ball action. Because I'm only doing the second half of the game. You're getting your money's worth. I'm going back onto socials. And Sagir's going to come back on. Bear, I don't know if he's in the green room. Last ball of this over.
What?
That is a bouncer which the cock pulls out of the shot.
And it's a
Oh, it's
wide,
been
so
given
it's
to
not the
wide,
last
isn't it?
ball of the over.
Too high. Too high.
Yeah, it did balloon very high, that one.
Yeah.
Mind you, he pretty much
That's-
nearly
yeah.
hit his own toes with it, didn't he? So
Yeah, the cock would have had to have been the size of, I don't know, Shaquille O'Neal to try and play a hook shot there.
yeah, I mean, he's a little man, but it sailed well over his head.
Yes. So we'll do all of that again. This one far more on off stump, sharply taken single. Well, they'll get there in good time. De Kock will keep the strike 47 for 2 after 10 overs, and the next people you'll hear it will be Bennett.
I will see some of you on Friday.
See you, John.
Okay, thank you, John.
Hello,
Mayank
Alan.
says,
Thank you, Alan. Hello there. Greetings, everybody. It's Bennett Olagasegram. I believe I'm with Sagir. And who's on socials?
It's me.
It's
me.
Alan.
You
Hello, Alan.
get
Nice
me.
to see you.
Good to see
nice
you.
to see you.
well,
And,
you know where
yeah,
we are. I'll see you later.
All right, see you later.
So Sri Lanka clawing back a little bit. There was a couple of interesting chances that went to begging. The wicket-keeper, it was a little bit of a tough chances. However, this score a little bit more. I don't think we've met before, Sagir, but hello.
No, we haven't.
How
Hello
are
to you too, Bennett.
doing?
How are you?
Yes, I am great. Thank you very much. But do you reckon another 30-40 runs would have made a game of this?
Yeah, I think so. Because, at the halfway mark, South Africa needed, 39, 37 of 60-something deliveries. Another 30 runs to the mix would have made it almost run a ball in terms of chase. And every dot ball then just adds to that pressure, isn't it?
Would have
And it looks like none of them seem comfortable taking risks at the moment.
Yes.
Now, I know a while earlier I was sort of poking a little bit of fun at Sri Lanka, saying that even PNG put up a better performance against West Indies. But this pitch that they're playing on today is definitely worse than
this
what...
pitch is certainly playing like a B instead of a P there, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
I apologize for speaking in this manner. But however, this is, if you're tuning in for the first time, Sri Lanka won the toss, decided to bat. Perhaps it was a decision they will be regretting in today's context. 77 all out, paltry performance. They, with 5 balls remaining, they lost all their wickets. And the batters, who are generally fluent stroke makers, found it hard going today. This tricky wicket in this game that's being played in New York City. They lost wickets right from the beginning, with only Kusal Mendes top scoring with 19, but it was an ugly knock, not his usual flamboyant self. He couldn't get the timing going at all, and certainly 77 all out. None of the batters were able to get on top. The timing was not great. We saw Angelo Matthews and Dasun Shanaka put up a little bit of a fight. You reckon, Sakir, if they had been a little bit maybe?
I think it's the experience of Matthews, isn't it, towards the end? And I know people make fun of him and say that, he's closer to retirement. As in, when I say retirement, not cricketer's retirement age, but actual retirement age, like 65-ish. And he's been the grand old man of Sri Lankan cricket for a long time now, the last of the old brigade, so to speak. And I think that was one of the reasons why Sri Lanka managed to get to about 70-ish.
They always go back to him, don't they, in whatever form. And Dasun Shanaka, the former skipper as well, I thought he bowled extremely well today. And so did Angelo Matthews. Of the bowlers there then, we had Anrich Nokia, 4 for 7. It was an excellent spell of fast bowling with a lot of short pitch deliveries, and he managed to get 4 Sri Lankans out. 4 for 7 or 4. What excellent figures. We also had Maharaj was a little bit tad expensive, but 2 for 22, and Rabada
Sure.
2 for 21. The
new
game
bowler,
starts
isn't
again. Hasaranga bowls a new over on the 11th over. It's a change. Skipper bringing himself on. Hasaranga bowls, and it's Dicock who pushes the ball in on the offside, and the batters go through for a single. Hasaranga coming after not playing in the IPL. He had not played in a couple of series before as well. Being the skipper, he promoted himself up the order and was out without troubling the scorers. He's got a point to prove here, and we all know what a capable leg spinner that he can be, and is threatening. It takes a lot of wickets, and this is the stage that he normally comes on to bowl between about the 8th and the 16th, where he's lethal. What can he do today? Hasaranga comes in, bowls. This one's on the leg stump and tucked away by Stubbs towards the fine leg area. The batters take one. They look for the second and decide against it as the score moves up to 49 for 2. So what's the thinking now in the South African camp, Sagir?
Well, I don't know about the thinking in the South African camp, but I think Sri Lanka is in a dilemma here, isn't it? Whether to push for wickets and go on the attack, or try and... Hang on a second, we'll wait for this next delivery.
Over-pitched and again tucked away nicely in a thoughtful manner towards the mid-wicket area. The fielders were quite deep, and this resulting in the batters coming back for 2. Clever thinking by Quinton de Kock, using all his experience. This could probably be his last World Cup, Sagir, for Quinton de Kock.
Yeah, that's right. I think for South Africans, the play from here on is fairly straightforward. They don't want to take any significant risks. I mean, if you look at it, they're still 2 wickets down.
This one is over-pitched and plays back to the bowler. Hasaranga looking for some bite off the pitch, is not getting that, and South Africa just playing along. They've got the game fully in control. Sri Lanka, the only way they can win this game is by taking wickets again.
Wickets,
There's no chance they're going to contain the South African batters.
South Africa need, 27 from 56 balls. All they have to do is just tap it along the ground into the gaps and keep taking singles and doubles.
Exactly. And what's Hasaranga going to do? This one's over pitch. Driven, and he's driven it uppishly straight into the hands of the wily Sri Lankan's captain. He's gone straight back into his hands. He accepts it gleefully, and Quinton de Kock is out. Caught and bowled by 1 into Hasaranga for a well-compiled 20 of 27 deliveries. South Africa, after being in a very comfortable position, have lost the season campaigner Quinton de Kock. Caught and bowled Hasaranga with the score 151, and we are in the 11th over of the innings.
And as we saw with Sri Lanka, as we saw with Sri Lanka earlier, aerial shots are probably not the optimal way to go over here. I mean, even Quinton de Kock, apart from that 1-6, he hasn't really hit much in the air except for this one.
Yes,
so,
indeed. And I think he was not planning to hit that in the air.
He wasn't. I think that was good bowling by Hasaranga, actually.
Bowling. And
good flight.
To do with the pitch as well, isn't it? Because it's so uneven, and you're not sure which way the ball is going to be coming off once it hits the deck. So this is what's playing on the batsman's mind. And again, a usual tuck towards the mid-wicket area, the ball balloons. So this is how Klaasen is coming back off a very successful IPL campaign. What can he do?
You do have to wonder what sort of pitches Klaasen would be more suitable for, and whether he can actually stick around and bat long rather than play his trademark attacking style.
It's going to test his mettle, test his temperament. On the back foot goes Klaasen, watchfully plays it towards extra cover area, and that's the end of over number 11. 51 for 3. Alan Hodgkins, what have you got?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of people. Mayank and Sagir were talking about maybe Jimmy should have been given the chance. Jimmy Anderson given the chance to retire at his home ground. Stephen Kelp responds that if the game at Old Trafford would have been probably rained off anyway, and feels he's able to say this as he's from the north. I'm not too far away from Manchester, and there really would be a high probability of that occurring. I can fully agree with Stephen on that.
So can I. I lived in Manchester for 5 years as well, and I must say it was one of the greyest, wettest cities I've ever lived in.
So is Pathirana going to continue? What can he do? He's done a lot of work with Chennai Super Kings in the IPL, and here he is, nice little ball outside the off stump with a bit of a lift as well as it goes through, clicking at 90.3. Sagir, do you reckon out of the two slingers, who would you think is a slightly faster one?
I don't think pace is so much of an issue as it is effectiveness, and I think Pathirana is probably the more accurate of the two. With Tushara, I think it just tends to be a little bit wayward with it, and I don't know whether that's due to the fact that he sort of bends a little bit more as he lands,
So
and he doesn't have.
My question was, who do you think is the fastest of the two? Yeah.
Oh, I think Pathirana, like, he doesn't look fast, but he is quick.
Yeah, I kind of tend to agree. This one's slinger on the leg stump. He may have got some pad on it, loud appeal, but clearly the umpire is not interested. It seems there may have been some bat on that as the batters crossed through. The skipper Hasranga not interested in taking the review. It was clearly way down the leg side. Interesting to see these two baby Mullingers playing together. It's coincidentally the first time that they're playing together in a game. Yes.
There's this little factoid about Pathirana that I think in this year's IPL, he had the lowest percentage of sixes hit off his bowling.
Wow. And the next one's over pitched and carved away into the deep cover area, and the batters go through for a single. That's great. Great sort of analysis there in terms of the sixes, but it's a shame he couldn't continue in the IPL because he may have really made an impact with Chennai Super Kings. They struggled
Absolutely.
after he left. They really struggled. And Nuwan Tushara they persisted with towards the end, Mumbai Indians, but it was a little bit too late. But I think in terms of carry, and Pathirana seems a little bit more quicker, as you say. Oh, this one's a great delivery.
What a
He shocked him there and almost crushed his toes there. Klaasen. This is Klaasen we're talking about, who was in the best class of his life from the IPL, the way he was batting. Here he was almost crouching there as the ball crushed onto his toes. He was covering and just lost his balance, but did well to recover and go through for a single. What do you think of that one, Sagir?
Yeah, I think that ball over there, guys like Waka Yunus would have been proud of as well.
94.1.
It's a good ball.
94,
there you
is
go.
it, Alan?
94.1 mph.
There you go. And we're talking about Klaasen here. He's the guy who was thumping the bowlers all around the park in India, wasn't he, not long ago?
Yes.
The thing is, I'm just wondering whether Pathirana was kept a bit too late, perhaps a little bit earlier. And this one's played towards the mid-wicket area, and it bisects the two fielders there. There's enough time for the batters to come back for two. And, what are your thoughts?
So, earlier when you asked about the
pace,
like what South Africa would do from here, and I said it's more a question of Sri Lanka using their bowlers optimally. I thought that perhaps Pathirana should have been bowled earlier instead of Shanaka at that point, because when you're defending only about 77, 78, you need to get as many wickets as you can, and you need to get your best bowlers in right at the beginning.
And they're playing Teakshan, and he has not even bowled a single over. Usually he bowls well in the power plays. They're playing him as a specialist spinner. So, maybe the conditions was not ideal, but he's normally very good with his contentment as well. But this one, short, bouncing, 92.4 miles an hour, zips through, passing the nose of Tristan Stubbs right into the wicketkeeper's hands. No chance of a run. End of over number 12. South Africa chasing a victory target.
Need 21 or 48 now.
21 needed of 48 at the end of 12 overs. Alan Hodgkins, what have you got?
So, Humbrain Nuevo, fantastic evening, GC. If South Africa keep this dull, safe tap, the gods or whoever should intervene and give the win to Sri Lanka. Throw it all to the wind, even if it's blowing in your face. But he reserves the right to retract this tomorrow when England play. And Jay Grover says, if you think Manchester's the greyest, wettest luxury, you should try Sheffield. Although he does say it's really sunny there at the minute. is going to open the window.
Well, I'm
I
going to
think
throw
Sheffield's a bit better than Manchester.
I'm going to throw in
Weather-wise.
Wales as well. I'm going to throw in Wales. That's where I am. Since I moved in the last 4 years, I haven't seen much here in terms of comparison. But this 2 balls gone in the over so far. And Hasranga keeping it tight. The ball that we missed was just played back to him. No chance for Hasranga. Comes in second over. Shortish. On the back foot goes Klaasen. We've seen this back foot shock Samir, that he played so successfully in the IPL. He's got so much class. He can clout the ball on the black foot over the ropes. But this one, he just played it towards the long on area.
Yeah.
No chance of a
It's just
run.
like a back foot slap that he plays, isn't it?
Amazing how he clears the ropes, isn't it, with ease.
Yeah,
And
so it's a
Hasranga
combination of power and timing, I guess, because you have to have timing, otherwise you're not going to clear the ropes that much.
Hasranga balls driven towards the cover area, and there is no chance of a run. I mean, he's got immense power, isn't he? And I think I've seen him playing well within himself as well in a couple of knocks. This one's overpitched, and he's driven it
What a
straight
catch.
into the hands. Tristan Stubbs drives, and that's a miraculous catch with short extra cover. Hasranga, the skipper, strikes again. Tristan Stubbs, who was dropped earlier on by the wicketkeeper Kusal Mendes, this time it's off to a brilliant catch, absolute breathtaking catch. I don't know who the fielder, I think is Charit Asalanka. Yes, Asalanka, who's taken the catch just off the ground. Absolute stunning, magnificent catch to dismiss Tristan Stubbs. And Sri Lanka back in the game here, 58 for 4 with 1 over to go. Sagir, what are your thoughts on that?
I think the reaction time for Asalanka was just brilliant. I mean, as we watch in this slow motion replay now, he wasn't even fully stable on his feet as he was trying to get into position, and that ball was slapped really hard. It was low, and he managed to just pick it inches off the ground. I mean, absolutely fantastic catch. And one has to imagine that if Sri Lanka had managed to get Tristan Stubbs earlier, because there were 2 chances that they dropped, one of Stubbs and I think one was maybe it was Markham. That's the one. Yeah. This could have been
harder, right? Markham's one's a little bit harder.
Different. It was, yeah, but it could have been a slightly different run chase for South Africa, and Sri Lanka might have fancied their chances, because then the pressure at that point would have been much higher. Now, when you look at it, 20 runs, 43 balls, it's kind of, they're not home and dry yet.
Yeah.
But
Sakir, the glorious uncertainty of cricket. I mean, whoever thought Sri Lanka would end up in 77, right, with that sort of a batting order, and who thought Sri Lanka would have South Africa reeling at 50
at the stage, yeah.
Yes,
so you know how Baer mentioned earlier that if South Africa were down for 20 odd for 4, game
just
on.
hold that thought for a second. This next delivery is overpitched and played into a short mid-wicket area. No chance of run. Wonderful second over by Hasranga. He's picked up another wicket, 2 for 6 off 2.
2 for 6, yeah, brilliant.
58 for 4. Alan, what have you got, Alan? Any of the listeners being...
Hattie the Batty. Manchester City that has a permanent raid cloud hanging over it and seen for miles. Stephen Kelp, Jimmy waved goodbye to his beloved Old Trafford crowd from the changing room where the England team had been hiding from the rain for 5 days.
It's good to see you all sort of engaging. Please tell us what you think of the game. What are your thoughts on the way South Africa gone about on this run chase? So Sagir, whereabouts are you coming in from today?
So right now I'm in Perth, but I have lived in London for 5 years. I've lived in Manchester, and as you said, I've been to South Wales, and South Wales was absolutely wet.
This next delivery from Pathirada is played into the covers. No chance of a run. Yeah, I've been here only for about 4 years. I'm actually from London myself, but I've lived in Hong Kong for a number of years and in Canada.
Nice.
So, from one part of the world to the other. My origins are from Sri Lanka, though. So
I gathered that. So whereabouts in South Wales? Because I've been to Cardiff, I've been to Bridgend, Rhondda Valley, Merthyr, Swansea, most of it.
One moment. Pathirada bowls. This one's outside the off stump, on the back foot, watchfully. Klaasen plays it into the covers, no chance of run. So I'm about 15 minutes between Cardiff and Bristol in a nice little place called Rogerstone, a little bit away from Newport. So 5 minutes and I'm right into the valleys. So it's
beautiful.
just hiding away from the city life, hiding away from Bear and London.
London, yeah. Oh, look,
Grizzly
London has its
bear.
own charm.
Well, it is. I've had enough of that. After going to Hong Kong, I lost everything in terms of city life. This one, Patrina Bowes, quicker, faster, and dug outside the off stump. It was Yorker length, and dug it straight into the cover point area. No chance of run. Good pressure there, Sagir.
That's a good fielding. Yeah, that's a good fielding effort, actually.
Was it Sagir? Was it Sadira? Was the fielder there? The fielders really complimenting the bowlers' efforts here.
But I think the bowlers have been on the money as well, isn't it?
They have been. Indeed, they have been. Sadira Samaravikrama, he's the test wicketkeeper. And I'm wondering whether Kusal Mendes has had a field day today. He's not picked up 2 catches. This one is again on a good
That was a
Yorker
good
length.
ball.
That was another good ball, and he had to dig it in from a Yorker length. It takes the inside edge, and the ball goes through to the finding area. And Klaasen gets one more. He's 4 off 11. It's not Klaasen-like, isn't it, Sagir?
No, but as we said, this pitch is not easy to bat on. And again, why would you take a risk when you've got a really comfortable margin? And I think we saw earlier with Sri Lanka, they tried to force the pace and they just lost their wicket. So therefore, if they had managed to maybe play a little bit more sedately and just play along the ground, they could have got up to 95, 100 even. But again,
that
hindsight.
turning point. Yes, hindsight. So they need sort of a run in 2 balls here. This one's over on a Yorker length, but he played it cleverly. They're almost expecting the Yorker delivery, like Malinga's time, isn't it, to come through, place it towards the mid-wicket area watchfully.
It does remind me of Malinga taking those 4 wickets in the last over versus South Africa during one of those matches. Do you remember that game?
Yes, indeed. He got 4. He got in another game. He got 4 wickets too. But not in the last over. Yes, it's a distant memory, but I do remember that. So this is a keen tussle between bat and ball. How Hasaranga would have been expecting another 30 runs on the board, which would have been amazing. Oh, this one is almost cleaned him up there. This was an excellent. He knew the Yorker was coming, but still he played on and looked behind to see if his thumbs were castled, because that's how effective that delivery was. And he dug it out into the towards the square leg area, and luckily escaped by taking a single. 61 for 4 at the end of over number 14. Alan Hodgkins, what are to say?
One theory, still going, how wrong I was. Sylvain, you guys should have been awake for the Namibia-Oman game. What a thriller. That was our first super over game of the tournament. Hattie the Batty, at least Wales is wet, beautiful and wet. And Stephen Kelp wonders whether they have electricity where you live, Bennett.
Electricity where I lived. Okay. So it's Hasaranga bowling the 3rd over of his 3rd over. It's the 15th over of the innings. Hasaranga bowls this one's played on the back foot, pushed, and Hasaranga equal to the task, just like running around like a hare, stops the ball from passing him, pressures on. 2 balls, 2 dots, class at 5 or 14. What can Hasaranga do? What did Hasaranga? Right arm over. This one's pitched, and this one's hit beautifully, majestically, mightily hit straight over the long on. It went high up into the skies. This is the class and we've watched in the IPL, and that is a pressure relieving shot. It's a 6. Hendrik Klaasen goes on to 11 of 15, and the score 67 for 4. Sakir.
Well, it was a great shot. He was in position. I think he just waited for that ball to pitch. It was in his arc, and he just went straight and high. And now he follows that up with a straight boundary too.
Beautiful looking shot by Klaasen. He certainly wants to finish this game quicker than one expected. He's just found the pace of the pitch, and this one's nicely hit straight over the bowler's head for a 6. Sorry, a boundary. Sorry, this one's on the back foot, plays towards the long on area, and the batters get 1. So Klaasen moves up to 16 of 17. Miller 1 of 2. 6 runs needed from 31 balls. So it's just a matter of time now for South Africa.
Yeah. The one question I wanted to pose is, when Chris Silverwood was in charge of England, he got a lot of criticism for the way England played. But now that he's in charge of Sri Lanka, and he seems to have turned their fortunes around.
Hold on a second. This one's over pitch driven and stopped on the follow through by Hasaranga. And that's the end of over number 15. South Africa need 6 runs from the next 5 overs, and it's time for a change after Alan Hodgkins goes through with the media reports.
It's going to be the Bear to come in on ball by ball. Jez is going to come in to do social media. Bennett, I think you're going to see this through to its conclusion. See you all tomorrow for the next game.
Indeed.
Cheers, Sagir.
All right.
See you later, Sagir.
Good luck, and hopefully South Africa should be home soon.
Oh yeah, well, it might be one ball. They need 6 runs to win. I wasn't really expecting to come back on, but in the end they've done it pretty easily. I doubt there was really a scare in the camp. We've just bigged it up a little bit. I think
it puts a very interesting perspective on future games on this pitch there, doesn't it?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's as bad as Sri Lanka made it look. There was a bit of movement. I guess teams will look at it and maybe they'll approach it. I think that's played back to the bowler and there's no run. I think that's what Bangladesh were saying, weren't it? It was a completely foreign thing. That was their excuse for losing to the USA, and USA played there. But I guess if you look at the pitch, see how it plays, and future teams will maybe adjust their games to suit it, and scores will move up anyway naturally. That was played up to long on for a single.
But Bear, I can understand why Tikshana was not bowled all this time. He's been brought in with 6 runs to win.
Well, it seems to me actually the pace was doing better than the spin in this instance, because the pitch was erratic, too paced, and it's still got a little bit of movement. It seems to me that it's harder to hit pace than it is spin, which is rare. And Hasaranga, to be fair, is tossing it up a little bit. That's flat, and pulled out through mid-wicket towards the boundary. Just be the 1 run. 4 now required from 27 deliveries. So a piece of cake. Looks very nice in New York. We had 1 day of sunshine yesterday and we all thought, ooh, that's nice, and then no more sun. It's fucking June, there's hardly been any sun whatsoever. That one's played off the back foot by Clarkson, but only as far as cover, and there is no run. My daughter claims there's going to be 50 days of rain this summer, which should be really depressing.
Really?
Yeah, that sounds pretty biblical.
Yeah, it does sound.
From
I think
the information.
TikTok. Yeah. But then she claims it. But then she claims it comes from the BBC. Hoiked by Clarkson out too deep mid wicket, and it'll just be the 1 run. Yeah, I hope not. I want the change of weather. It'd be nice to get some bloody sun. Oh, there's an appeal for LBW, but it's pitched outside leg. It might not even be hitting leg. They're going to review it, but they might as well.
This. And again, Bear, I really think, I appreciate the spinners were not getting much, but then you saw how Hasaranga bowled. I mean, Tikshana is a clever bowler. I really think, the only way Sri Lanka could have won this is by taking wickets. So, would have given him an over or 2 before, I reckon. But anyway.
Yeah, I do, but yeah, as you say, there's not really much in it for the spinner in terms of what the wicket's doing. There's an awful lot in it for the seamers.
Except the pace of the wicket is so slow as to make the spinners quite hard to get away if they're pitched in the right place.
Yeah, Hasaranga did get 2 wickets, I agree. One was a bullet catch though. It was a really well-timed shot.
This is one of the worst reviews in history. It must have pitched.
Yeah, it pitched mile outside leg stump. Yeah, it's a terrible review. It's wasting my time. I should be going home.
Mayank says any eagle-eyed viewers would have seen me on the big screen TV at 13.5 overs. Now that I'm famous, autographs and selfies cost $5 each, thanks.
I don't know, why are you even looking at that? Why are you just looking at the goddamn... I suppose you have to look at whether he hit it first. But why don't you just look at whether it pitched outside leg first? because then it doesn't matter whether it hit the bat or not. It should be the first thing you look at. And it's pitched about 6 inches outside leg stump, so it won't be out. A crap review, but I guess
when you only got two runs to go.
Yeah, precisely, exactly. They need 3 from 24 deliveries. You are getting soundly beaten. You might as well review it.
How says Oman will rue that missed run out off the last ball, and also the 6 that we hit in the 90th. The more athletic fielder could have parried it in. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. Always sounds, and that's hit out into the deep, and it'll be a single. 2 required from 23 deliveries. What do the Sri Lankans think of Hasaranga as a captain?
Well, early days, but the way he's been promoting himself up and down the order, and he seems to have got some of the old brigade back, like Angelo Matthews and Dasun Shanaka, into the fold. But I think in the early days,
down the track, that's the game over, boys. Down the track comes David Miller, smashes it back inside, long on, who's pretty wide, goes to boundary. It's 4 runs, the game is done. South Africa win by 6 wickets, and well done them. So carry on. So yeah, I mean, exactly that. He seems a bit prima donna to me. Not the kind of man you want to have in charge of a town. I mean, I really haven't seen enough of him, but that's the first impression I get.
This tournament probably will define sort of what kind of a leader he is. But yeah, I mean, again, the decision to bat today and the way he batted, you know, it didn't really sort of, was not like a captain's approach, isn't it? I mean, lost 2 wickets, not even looking at what the pitch was doing. He just gave himself away. And yeah, it's quite critical. I guess if Sri Lanka had won, it would have been a different story. Like, wow, good toss to win and good decision. And if it scored a 50, they would have all been all over him. But I guess that's the way it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, and it's T20, so very much so.
Yes, indeed.
Well, let's wrap this up. Any last messages, Messi?
Well, there's some ongoing discussion on YouTube, but nothing that needs to be dealt with. Jay says, can I get a signed statement for I would say Sheffield is a bit better than Manchester? It would make so many people I know so happy, just so we could show it to Leeds. And Bennett, you haven't lived in Sheffield. Your opinion is invalid, says Jay.
I've been to Sheffield and I lived in Manchester. I prefer Manchester.
Thank you all very much. Serious, can one access through Guerrilla Cricket? I can't seem to get it independently.
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that.
No, you've missed out a word somewhere there, I think, Jay. Incidentally, Jay, as a patron, you could be with us on Discord. You have the code in the most recent Patreon email you've got. I'd encourage all of our patrons to join us on Discord in the chats we have there too. It's one of the benefits of being a Patreon, and we really appreciate those of you who do support us, because we need all the support we can get to keep this little operation going for the benefit of all of us.
Indeed.
Thank you very much to all of you.
Yeah, and tomorrow, England. Ooh. England's first foray in this tournament. We're playing the Scots. It could be a big banana skin for us. As always, when playing home nations, don't want to lose them, but you never know with England. Although I bet on them, and they do look pretty good to me. It is another.
That is on at what time?
3:30, same time as today. It's in Bridgetown.
Right. Excellent. Well, you have fun with that. I won't be with you tomorrow. I've got something else on, but I've no doubt that it will be a nice close game in Bridgetown.
Yeah, Barbados.
That was.
I'm sure
it'll be interesting to see whether the boundaries are as big there as they have been elsewhere.
I imagine it will be. Yeah, I thought so. Anyway, right. So we shall see you. We'll be on air sometime between 3:20 and 3:30. How about that? That's really good of us, isn't it? And we shall see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Until then, goodbye.
Cheers now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla crickets. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time is come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy.